side that you ain't met yet. Tread real light, dare you to light that fuse, 'cause I can be a loose cannon. Cross the line, I'll call you bluff. Promise when push comes to shove that you don't want that smoke. Better the devil you know than the devil you.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you. See you, see you.
As a small business owner, you deserve more. More confidence, more connectivity, more of the tools that help your business thrive. And at Cox Business, you can expect more from us. We don't just have sales reps. We have perfect plan identifiers. People who will work with you to make sure your business gets everything it needs and nothing that it doesn't. Your business deserves more, and that's why you can expect more from Cox Business. Call 800-526-8572 to switch today.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Y'all ready for this?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Good evening, America, and welcome to a joint broadcast between KLRNradio.com and DigitalBeacon.com, which is not live quite yet, but we're working on it. And this is our election night coverage for Super Tuesday. This is the largest election until November. This will be a deciding factor on who becomes the Republican nominee. For some reason, Nikki Haley seems to think that she has a prayer. I would like to see now, just in my professional opinion, now playing the part of General Custer, Nikki Haley. I don't think tonight's going to go well. You know how I think even she knows tonight's not going to go well? She's not got any victory stuff planned. She's got no appearances planned after today. She's got no fundraising mechanism apparently in place after today. But she's still telling everybody that she's not out yet. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't ask for this geriatric grudge match either, but the voters are apparently speaking, and apparently they want old people, and they want old people out for blood. So I guess they're going to get what they want, at least if tonight goes anywhere near how we expect it to go. I'll have Aggie joining me here in a little bit. We have some other folks that hopefully will be joining us throughout the evening, because I'll probably be with you till probably at least midnight or so my time, because it's election night, and, you know, I believe it or not, I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. It's why I started doing it for a living. Everybody's burned out. And I'm like, but we got to do it. Everybody's burned out. But I'm like, we got to do it. Look, I didn't want this grudge match either. I really didn't. We could have had DeSantis. And I really wish at this point it was DeSantis versus Haley in Super Tuesday. But the voters didn't want DeSantis yet. And unfortunately, I think they may have been rope-a-dope by the Democrats. I guess we'll find out in November. Because I feel like the Democrats have been setting this up because they feel like Trump is the one that they can beat because Biden's already beat him once. Granted, I know, I get it. 2020, in my opinion, should have an asterisk by it, too. I'm sorry. I guess it's pronounced asterisks. I think. I may have even mispronounced it again. It's one of those words I don't like to say anyway, so I don't really care. But yeah, so I guess we will find out tonight if Nikki Haley is in fact playing the part of General Custer, because I kind of feel like this is Haley's last stand. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere near where she thinks it's going to go or where she hoped it was going to go. Because at this point, with the number of delegates that Trump already has, to remain competitive at all, she's going to have to run the table. And I don't see that happening. She's going to have to pick up everything that's on the table tonight to distance herself enough to remain competitive with Trump with the elections that we still have coming. Otherwise, by next week, we will have a confirmed nominee. And it will be the geriatric grudge match of the century. You know, so I don't know. Maybe this should be like, if they decide to do debates, maybe this should be the music. I'm kind of feeling like maybe we were onto something when we picked this for Poli-Sci's theme. Were we onto something? Is this where we're headed? Kind of feel like this is where we're headed. I guess we'll know here in a bit, because polls are starting to close. Oh, I said polls. Anyway, so yeah. If that wasn't enough, of course, Joe Biden's now decided he's shifting towards, general election footing. So now he's going to start calling Trump a loser at every opinion to try to see if he can get Trump off balance. I hate to tell you this, Biden, but Trump is a lot better at that game than you are, and he knows where he is most of the time. Yes, there have been a few things that the media has determined to be slip-ups. I'm not so sure, because everybody knows that Jim Henson has two hands. For those of you not in work chats with me, you won't get the reference, and I apologize. But, yeah. Pretty sure everybody knows that Obama has a hand somewhere in Biden's, just saying. Which is funny, because it's what we call a segue into the one story that I wanted to talk about before we start looking into everything else. So Joe Biden has apparently determined there should be a spokespuppet for the shrinkflation task force that he's going to be announcing on Thursday. And we will be covering that as well. So Thursday night will be State of the Union. Again, going to try to have a panel on. We're hoping to be joined by Chad Alexander from KOKC 1520, who just wrapped his show a few minutes ago and may or may not be doing extended coverage because of the Super Tuesday stuff. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't, and we didn't really confirm much about tonight because he was already planning on being on Thursday. And I'm not trying to make him work over here full time either. But anyway, so we've got that coming up. We've got this going on tonight, and well, the funny thing is, well, actually, they're starting to talk about it. So let's pull the volume up on this for a second.
Virginia, North Carolina, maybe she can surprise some people and pick up some delegates even out of a state like Texas. Then you've got the big targets, and maybe they're realistic, maybe they're not. We'll see tonight. The Haley campaign has told us they think Utah is a possibility for them. There's a lot of kind of never Trump, anti-Trump Republicans in that state. And in New England, you have a lot of independent voters and even Democratic voters potentially voting in states like Vermont and Massachusetts. And if she's going to win any of these states, it's going to be states like those. I'm really going to be keyed in quite a bit on Virginia. Polls have closed there. We have a teeny tiny amount of vote in there, so there's nothing that we can really extrapolate from that. But remember, there were competitive primaries here in the past, and take a look at this. These areas right outside Washington, D.C., the Virginia suburbs there.
All right, so Virginia polls have closed. Let's bring the volume down on that. I'm going to see if I can find somewhere else to keep up with this stuff on, because nobody wants to hear ABC News. Just saying. All right, so we're going to see what we can find as far as sources to keep up with the election coverages for you. And I don't know. I should have done this already. Oh, that's from forever ago. That's from like February 15th. Anyway, give me just a moment. Wow. So, wow. Well, I guess that wasn't for tonight, though. I don't think. Yeah, no. So those are the ones that have already been called. So, wow. So, I had heard about this, but I hadn't looked at it yet. On March 2nd, I guess, was when they did the Missouri primary, and Trump got 100% of the votes. Now, granted, it was a caucus, and apparently there were only 924 votes total, but Trump got 100%. Oklahoma polls don't close for about another 45 minutes. Looks like Virginia polls have closed right now. Trump is edging out Haley with only about, looks like 17% of the votes being counted. Right now he's at 60.7%. She's at 37.7%. And other candidates are at 2.2%. DeSantis is at 1%. Christie is at 0.03%. So, yeah, there are people that are still voting for whomever. Of course, we knew that Trump already won New Hampshire. That happened a while ago. Rather handily, actually, considering that the governor of New Hampshire was claiming that Nikki Haley was going to wipe the floor with him. Donald Trump, of course, has already secured the Michigan votes. That happened as of March 5th, which actually, I'm confused. I don't know. Nevada, we already knew about that one. Of course, Nikki lost in Nevada to none of the above. Of course, she did the primary, not the caucus, and the only way to get included was to be in the caucus. So, of course, she cried foul there. So just to make sure that we're on the same page, as of right now, Donald Trump has a total of 273 delegates going into tonight. Nikki Haley has secured 43. Others have a combination of 12 in total. So again, with roughly 850 delegates up for grabs, I believe, somewhere around there, Nikki Haley would have to run the entire table to even be anywhere near competitive for tonight, and I just do not see that happening. I don't. She can say she wants to be, she can say she's going to be, but it's not going to happen. It's just not. All right, so while we're waiting on everybody else, let's do this.
To the rest of the country, and I think that's going to have a big effect. It's the number one issue in a lot of these states.
Trump said last night that he wanted to reach out to Democrat mayors. He said we have to fix the cities, and he wants to work with them. That's going to be interesting to watch.
He wants to do a rally here in New York. We're going to make another call. The Fox News decision desk can now project that President Biden will win Vermont's Democratic primary. Something tells me this is a trend early on in the night, that the president is going to win these states easily, and we can make those calls. You can see on the bottom of the screen we're going to have all the states that have the raw vote total coming in, and we'll put those up for you. And when we can make a call on the Republican side, we definitely will do that. We're just getting started on this Super Tuesday. We have a lot.
Yeah, I guess Virginia has only got 1% in. Right now, Trump is up 61.9%.
The next set of polls closing
a
big lineup throughout the evening as the.
So yeah, I mean, there's still a division in the Republican Party, which is one of the reasons why everybody keeps saying that they just don't know if Trump's going to be able to win the general. But the thing about it is, I mean, granted, Haley keeps jumping up and down and screaming and yelling that 70% of the country doesn't want the grudge match between these two. The primary voters aren't showing that because they have other choices with Biden, too, and they're not picking that choice. I mean, I don't remember the last time an incumbent actually had a primary that was even talked about. And Biden's been primaried in a few states. It looks like, I mean, the Ouija board lady has unsuspended her campaign to try to give people another choice. Haley's staying in the race because she wants to try to give people another choice. I think she was expecting a different result yesterday from the Supreme Court, if I'm being completely honest, which is why now that result has come down, and now that the Supreme Court has agreed to hear the arguments on the immunity case, which is going to push things out for months, one way or the other, and it will probably... I mean, I do see it going along party lines this time, most likely. It's not going to be a 9-0. But I would be really surprised if only because of the fact that if they make qualified immunity for presidents not a thing, then no president's going to be able to do their job ever again. Now, they could narrow it and say, that yes, he had immunity for this and he didn't have immunity for this because this wasn't part of his regular duties, which is what I think people are hoping that the people that want Trump to basically be tarred and feathered. I think that's what they're shooting for. I think that's what they're hoping for. But here we sit, waiting to find out. But the weeping and gnashing of teeth yesterday with the SCOTUS ruling that was a 9-0. Now, granted, I mean, it was a unanimous decision, but there were still dissenting opinions among the agreement of how far the majority opinions took things, because they were not wanting the other states to be, well, you can't, since they can't do that, you can't do that. And they weren't wanting, the people that were disagreeing with that, at least in part, didn't want the court to go that far. So they were hoping to hear the individual cases about why the states have made this decision, and with the majority opinion, and then it eventually becoming a per cum decision. I know I mispronounced that, but while I do speak Latin, I don't speak it often. I type it more than I speak it, if I'm being honest. Just because it's fun to type in Latin, because it confuses people. But anyway, yes, my inner nerd is showing. It's election night. What did you expect? What did you expect? You know what? Since it's just me, and we're just talking for a little bit anyway till things start happening and whatever. What do you say we bring on some music? Why not? I'll play it low so you guys can still hear me talking. I'm just saying we might as well have a little fun with it while it's just us. It's my theme song, or one of them anyway. This way, at least if I have to look something up, you guys aren't completely bored. I promise I won't sing much.
Truth is, I thought it mattered. I thought that music mattered. But does it bollocks? Not compared to how people matter.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. It's in the night away. It's in the night away.
He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the good times. He sings the songs that remind him of the best times.
Don't mind me, we're just having a party in the control room. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna just kind of chill out for a while because it's been a week already. Did I mention I had a plumbing problem today? You know, my kids keep forgetting that we live in the country and they tried to do a month's worth of laundry all at once. That was fun. And nobody could figure out when my living room flooded. That's why there wasn't an afternoon show today. So yeah, that's kind of why we're just playing some music and having fun while we wait for things to start rolling in. Because I probably could have got away with not starting until 7 my time, but I decided we were starting early anyway. Because why not? Well, Virginia is up to 8.9% of the votes counted. Donald Trump leading 33,362 votes to 16,634 for Haley, so 65.3% to 32.6%. So far, other candidates have secured 1,081 votes in Virginia, accounting for 2.1% of the vote. So, I'm not a math whiz, but yeah, I guess that adds up, huh? By the time you do the decimals, it's pretty close. I was thinking, if that's about roughly 10% of the vote, and those numbers hold, Donald Trump's gonna spank her in Virginia. And I don't mean that in the dirty way, but it kind of deserves this anyway.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
Just saying. So, since we got folks in the chat, any requests? It takes a second for you guys to answer, so I'm not going to necessarily guarantee that you'll get it played immediately, but if you have a request, I'll try to play it while we're just kind of goofing off here. Yeah, I know, it's been a minute since I've dusted off the DJ voice. I should probably try that again. And that is not what I wanted to play, because I don't know about y'all, but one-hit wonders. Just saying, one-hit wonders. Let's see, what do I want to play next? I don't know. This might be fun. Then again, I might get bored and change it. It's not like I'm actually DJing right now. They can't yell at me if I change songs. I mean, they can, but what are they going to do? Fire me? I'm the boss. Apparently I confused my phone. Sorry, I'm still coordinating with the folks that are coming on later. And I just realized I almost texted somebody my stream of consciousness I just laid on the chat, so I gotta delete all that crap. Alright, so let's see what else is going on. I forgot. I wanted to talk about this today too, but since we didn't do the afternoon show, I didn't. That's what I'm doing right now, is pulling up my notes, because it'll be a minute before anything starts rolling through. So Senator Kyrsten Sinema is leaving the Senate at the end of the year. Is anybody else not concerned at all? Although I have to admit, I think she may have pulled some stuff away from the Democrat competitor, so she may have actually helped the Republican candidate, but I don't really know. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure she has a bright future in lobbying, and I don't know whether Carrie Lake has a prayer. I mean, I guess we'll probably find out tonight. I think they're one of the ones voting tonight. I think. I know there's like 15 states up for grabs. But I don't think Arizona's not until March 19th, so no, it's not tonight. Never mind. I was thinking of Nevada, but they already did theirs too, so. I know so far the only one that I've heard anybody in the Haley camp say they might have a prayer with tonight is like Utah, and then of course the Northeast, because you know, in the Northeast Republicans are Democrats. Nobody wants to talk about that fact, but it's pretty much true. God bless Ferguson, Baltimore, chaos and less order. We could be immortal. It's already gonna be another martyr. It's already gonna be another murder. The nature of the monster that we a part of. Say a little prayer for your son, for your daughter. Do a Hail Mary, then run for the border. Where I come from, a whole lifespan shorter. I got stress disorder. We could be immortal. Alright, let's see what plays next. Ooh, I like this one. I actually used to use this one a lot when I was pissed. You know what? Let's crank this one up for a minute. It gives me a chance to take a look at notes. Be careful making wishes in the dark, dark. Can't be so when they hit that mark. And besides, in the meantime, I'm just dreaming of tearing you apart. I'm in the deep, deep tears with the devil. Know the world can never get me on my level. I just gotta get you out the cage. I'm a young lover's rage. Gonna need a spark to ignite. My songs go. I forgot I was muted because I was playing. Anyway, hang on a second. We have an announcement. Gotta bring the volume down because we have an announcement. Virginia has officially been called, ladies and gentlemen. It is Trump country with 30% of the vote counted. They are now calling Virginia for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is up 111,919 votes to Nikki Haley's 58,301. 64.4% of the vote to Trump. 33.5% to Haley, 2.1% remaining to other. So Virginia has officially been called according to AP News, and that happened as of right now, actually. So it just happened. So Virginia has been called for the night. So here we go. First one in the win column for Trump. Number of delegates up for grabs. I'll need to see if I can find that. I don't really know that much about Virginia. So wow, that's kind of surprising. Nikki Haley's getting her ass kicked in Richmond. That's actually kind of surprising to me. I kind of dug down into the map here. So Richmond, it's actually on par with the count for the rest of the state so far. 64.9% Trump, 33% Haley. With the suburban stuff going on in Richmond, I actually kind of figured it might be a little tighter there, because for some reason everybody seems to think that, Trump doesn't like women or women don't like Trump. I think most everybody's just tired of Biden's bullshit. I've been saying this for months. Biden was an unknown quantity, and everybody was just tired of all the drama with Trump. They really were. I mean, that's been the biggest thing for the longest, is there was just so much drama with him, and everybody was coming after him, and eventually everybody started believing the bad press, and now they're looking back 4 years ago and going, yeah, things weren't really that bad back then. I mean, granted, and I've said this before, I think he has a lot to answer for regarding COVID, especially now that the CDC's come out and said, well, we can actually just treat it like the flu now. Like, didn't you guys shout the president down for saying that 4 years ago? I don't know why he's not making more noise about this stuff, because I feel like he could get headway with some people that are never Trump at this point because of the fact that he locked down the country and because of some of the extremes that he took. If he would just say, hey, look, I took advice from bad people, it won't happen again. Problem is, I don't know if he can say that it won't happen again, because Donald, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't sign up for Grudge Match 2.0. This needs to be the last time that we put people up against each other that shouldn't be buying green bananas. I'm just saying, this needs to be the last time. I love you guys, all you boomers. I absolutely love you. We have a lot of boomer listeners. I absolutely love you. But your more ancient predecessors within your same demographic need to go home and go away and plant flowers and plant gardens and rock in the rocking chairs and yell at kids to get off the lawns, because we're tired. We're tired of your old, outdated policies that don't fix anything. They just don't. I mean, the Democratic Party is running on the same ideas of the 60s. Do you guys realize that all their conservation and their green energy and green blah, 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 yada, 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 is all stuff that came about in the 60s? You know how long ago that was? Just to let you know, I'm 50, about to be 51 in a couple of months, and I wasn't even alive in the 60s. This tells you how old and outdated their policies are. This tells you and lets you know exactly who the racists are, too, because those policies really haven't changed since the 60s for them either. They just covered them in, pretending to give a crap, which is why there's so many Democrats now that are pissed. So many black Democrats that are pissed. And I don't know, this is just, again, something else that came across my feed today that I felt like I had to bring up, because 1 minute Charles Barkley says things that I agree with, like when he's screaming and yelling about how you can't go to a basketball game in LA without a flak jacket. Then he's on a new show on CNN, I guess, on Saturday night with Oprah's friend Gail, I guess is who it was. And talking about how if he ever saw a black person wearing a Trump mugshot shirt, he was going to deck him. My favorite response to that was from the 5 today when Judge Jeanine Pirro was like, I'm going to have Tyrus put on a shirt like that and go find Barkley because I want to see him knock Tyrus out. Sometimes I like that Henri woman. I'm just saying. The one I can't stand, especially lately, is Jessica. And that's hard for me to say because that's my daughter's first name. But she just, I don't know. She carries the water for the left so well, and she's like the diehard one. Like everybody else has at least a little bit of give. She's just all in for the left's agenda the whole time and doesn't care. And I'm 99% sure she's playing a part because that's kind of the whole point of the five. But it's still really annoying. Did I mention that it's annoying? So am I, Raptor. Doesn't do any good because we're like the generation nobody gives a crap about, which is why we just kind of sat around minding our own business and then the boomers ran it into the ground. Oh, man, Virginia kind of got called early. I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised, but now that's kind of surprising. Loudoun County, which so far, wow, apparently already has 99% of the votes counted in Loudoun County, which is within Virginia, by the way, in case you're wondering, showing Donald Trump with a total of 14,985 votes with 51.8%. Nikki Haley at 45.8% with a total of 13,685. So there were pockets. And there were even places where other people, I mean, Haley did win in a couple places, like Alexandria City, with 39.6% of the votes counted. She has 71.1% at 3,347. Donald Trump is a distant second with 26.3%. So there are a couple of places where she's pulling it out, but they're few and far between. Looks like she got Arlington County as well. Again, 62.8% of the votes counted. She got 73.6% of the vote. Actually, I guess it just updated to 73.4. Donald Trump sitting at 23.9. So there were Haley pockets in Virginia, at least. It looks like there's another one. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Albemarle County, and I know I'm butchering the hell out of that name. So far, they've only got 10.3% of the vote counted. Nikki Haley sitting at 53.5%. Donald Trump sitting at 44.4%. So this isn't going as it normally does, though, so it's just a little weird for me. Because, like I said, normally Haley does better in the more densely populated areas. In Virginia, it's kind of happening the opposite. I guess we'll zoom back out and see if anything else is starting to be reported anywhere. Oh, I hit the wrong button. I gotta love when that happens. I hit the wrong button. I tried to zoom out and it said no. Alright, so yeah, Virginia has officially been called. Looks like that's the only one so far. It's the only one so far. Why was I thinking it was later than it was? I could have swore I looked at the clock a second ago and it said 6:50. I guess I was waiting for reinforcements that aren't here yet. Alright, well, you know what? Since we still got a few more minutes with it just being us, let's see. You know what? I love this song as a kid. We're playing it now, just because I can.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah,
this may actually be bumper music when Chad's on, because I'm gonna see if I can get him to tell the story about why he likes the song so much.
Well, I know I'm gonna be the man
Don't tell him.
who gets drunk next to you. And if I haver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's havering to you.
But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm walking, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. And when the money comes in for the work I do, I'll pass almost every penny on to you. When I come home, oh, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home to you. And if I broke, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's growing over you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's lonely without you. And when I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home with you. I'm gonna be the man who's coming home with you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. And I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
You know what? I was gonna turn it down, but I think I'm gonna leave it up. What's a little Top Gun between friends? Just saying. suddenly imagining Nikki Haley in the cockpit yelling, "Talk to me, Goose." Probably because I'm nuts. Anyway. All right. So enough musical shenanigans. I was looking up some stuff while we were kind of having a little musical interlude. So up for grabs tonight, 50 delegates in Alabama, statewide until the 29, majority take all, otherwise proportional for candidates with 20% of the vote. Congressional districts, 21, majority take all or winner take all or most. Alaska has 29 delegates available, but of course we're not going to know about Alaska for quite some time. Because different time zones, which is why I'm going to be working kind of late tonight, probably. Arkansas, 40 delegates, 28 statewide, majority take most or proportional, depending on if they get enough of the vote. California has 169 delegates available, with majority take all or proportional. I remember when it used to be one or the other. Now it seems like there's like differences. I don't know. It's weird. So where's Virginia had 48 delegates, 12 of which I guess are majority take all and proportional, and then 33 of them are majority take all or proportional, depending on district breakdowns. So Haley may still walk away with some delegates tonight, but I just don't see a way that she keeps this going for much longer. Alright, let's see what's going on here.
The results come.
Apparently I paused it and I didn't mean to, so let's... I thought I muted. I didn't mean to pause. Anyway, so probably have to hit refresh, otherwise I'll be behind there for the rest of the night. Ooh, I guess Vermont's starting to roll in some choices. Jeff, your state better not
Your
screw
special
anything
coverage
up.
Thursday.
Just saying. Oh, yeah, I did it again.
Are you
All
on
right,
a fixed
we need to quit
income
pausing
that
and
costs
mute
a
instead, just so when there's something that we can go to, we can pull it up and talk about it. But yeah, so Vermont has returned starting to roll in. It looks like there was somewhere else that I saw one. I think it was... Where did it go? I have too many tabs open. Too many tabs are open. Trying to keep up with all of this is kind of nuts sometimes. I should have brought my laptop in here because I could have had multiple screens and made it even more confusing for myself. So much fun. Alright, so we've got about 10 minutes till reinforcements come in. I'm going to take a quick break just so I can get a couple things ironed out. So you guys hang out. We're going to play some commercials and I will be right back. And then here in a minute I'll actually have some reinforcements starting to join me, so there won't be too many more musical interludes, I don't think. But it was kind of fun, so we may do it again. I don't know. Anyway, going to take a quick break. This is what we call in the business a pause for the cause, if you know what I mean. We'll be right back.
Y'all ready for this?
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq, Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is, if getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis.
And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you, see you, see you.
As a small business owner, you deserve more. More confidence, more connectivity, more of the tools that help your business thrive. And at Cox Business, you can expect more from us. We don't just have sales reps. We have perfect plan identifiers, people who will work with you to make sure your business gets everything it needs and nothing that it doesn't. Your business deserves more, and that's why you can expect more from Cox Business. Call 800-526-8572 to switch today.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Let's get ready to rumble!
I mean, technically, I guess we're already mid-rumble-ish, but we're back. We're live, and I don't feel like I'm floating away anymore, so that's always good. Again, Virginia has been called with a total of 48 delegates at stake, 56% of the vote counted. In Iowa, Biden has won with 97% of the vote counted, but an uncommitted got 4%. See, this is where Biden's going to start running into problems. In North Carolina, they've already called it with 2% of the vote in, but again, no preference got 8.6%. Now, granted, I get it. You know, Haley is still, being supposedly competitive. Like right now in North Carolina with 2% in, she's got almost 30% of the vote. But I'm just saying, I don't, with the number of votes that Biden is bleeding. Now, granted, I mean, this is March. Election's not until November. There could be some sort of a huge swing between then and now. But if Biden keeps bleeding voters, I don't see a path for him this time. I mean, he barely won the last time, and they had to get creative to make that happen. Looks like Vermont has neck and neck right now. 12% of the vote counted. It's almost 50-50 split. So Vermont could make things interesting for Haley, maybe. Could she possibly walk away with a state or two? Right now, the only one I heard them really talking about was Utah. They did mention New England, so I guess that would technically include Vermont. I don't know. I don't know enough about the geography there. I'm a flyover guy. Don't look at me in that tone of voice. Just saying. It's weird that their Iowa vote was tonight. Didn't we do Iowa like a long time ago? It's weird how these things happen at different times and for different parties. I don't know. It just seemed a little weird to me. Uh-oh. No China funding. No China funding. Alright, so let's see what's going on. Is there any other quick news hits we can do instead of just sitting here waiting for results? Probably. I mean, the only question I keep asking myself is, will this finally be the end for Nikki Haley? Because, I mean, it's going to take a lot for her to be able to stay in the race. Her funding's already starting to dry up. There is the staunch never Trump arm inside the Republican Party. And all I'm going to say about that group is, listen, if you play your cards right and you help him get across the finish line one last time, you never have to put up with him again. I mean, let's start thinking about this logically. Would you prefer the man lose and then continue to try to be a kingmaker who, you know, when he's president, he's the Leslie Nielsen of presidents. Pretty much everything he touches works out except for COVID. When he's a kingmaker, he's the reverse Midas touch of kingmakers because everything he touches dies. So would you rather give him 4 more years to try to use his business acumen to get our economy humming again, and then right off into the sunset, never to be seen or heard from again, hopefully, because hopefully he will not take a page from the Biden and Obama crime families books. But I'm just saying, if you really want to be rid of Trump, the easiest way to make that happen is to just push him across the finish line one last time. I don't want him in this position either, but I didn't get a vote because the only primary I could vote in today was the Libertarian primary, and up until 5 minutes ago, I didn't even know they were doing a Libertarian primary because they usually don't. It's usually just this weird process at their convention where they anoint whoever the nominee is going to be. At least since I've been involved in the Libertarian Party. I've been told that's not always how it's been, so I guess they're getting back to the old way now. But yeah, I second USA Today's question from a headline that I just pulled up. Will Super Tuesday put the primary season out of its misery? 3 things I expect to see, and this is written by Sarah Pequeño. Super Tuesday might not be the end of the primary elections, but it could be a turning point in the nomination process. 15 states and 1 U.S. territory have elections. Based on what we've seen, I'm expecting to see a string of victories for President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Still, there are a few things to pay attention to as we shift into a full-blown election year. We've seen enough of the primary season that we can anticipate some of what will happen on Super Tuesday. Voters know it's going to be Trump and Biden in the end, just like 2020. And yes, she's saying what I'm saying. It's a rematch that no one wanted and nobody asked for. But here we are. Biden's popularity is waning, Trump's legal battles aren't over, and both are showing their age. If your state heads to the polls Tuesday, it's the last chance to make your voice heard before the general election kicks off. Nikki Haley could ride her D.C. high. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley finally has some points on the board after winning Sunday's Republican primary in Washington, D.C. She now has 19 delegates, bringing her grand total to 43 ahead of Super Tuesday. Trump is still dominating with 244 delegates, and the Supreme Court just ruled that he can remain on the ballot in Colorado and Maine, which are among the states voting tonight, so I'll be interested to see what happens there. by the way. I'm curious to see what happens in Colorado. It's unlikely that Haley's win this weekend will have a huge impact on her standing in the Super Tuesday states. Fewer than 2,000 Washingtonians voted in the Republican primary, and Haley has already been declared queen of the swamp by the Trump campaign. It's likely that what little momentum she has at this point will fizzle out after the votes come in Tuesday night, even though it's unclear what her plans are going forward. So the question USA is asking, that I'm pretty sure I know the answer to, is why not Haley? Because according to polls, Nikki Haley dominates Biden in the polls. Why are Republican primary voters so stuck on Trump? Whether she stays in the race will depend on her finances. She brought in $12 million in February despite her electoral losses, but that won't last her until July. Even so, Haley's offering Republican voters a choice instead of letting Trump cruise to victory, and that's admirable. Hopefully she sticks to her morals and stays in the race. I don't know how admirable it is, because I get what she's saying, and she's like, 70% of the people in this country don't want these two going head-to-head. But if that were true, wouldn't somebody else be leading? That's the part that I can't understand. These polls keep saying people don't want this, but everybody keeps voting for it. So how is it that they don't want it, but they're voting for it? Anyway, just saying. It makes absolutely zero sense to me. All right, so it looks like Aggie is on now, so we're going to add her in a second. We're live. We'll just add her live. Nobody cares about the noises. Y'all have heard it before. Excuse me while I call in some reinforcements. Hello, and we are live. How are you?
Oh, fine. I got distracted by the polls coming in. I was laughing at Vermont.
Last I looked at Vermont, it was pretty much a dead heat. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't necessarily surprised.
It just flipped to Trump. But it looked like Haley might have pulled that one off. But still too early to tell. So, so I was just looking at it going, oh, and then of course I had it on CNN. So John King, and there was a little slip of the tongue where he said we instead of she, talking about Haley. So,
oops.
Yeah, big oops.
That is actually not a bad idea. We should probably turn on all the liberal networks so we can kind of join into their weeping and gnashing of teeth as the night goes on.
Yes. It's I prefer to watch the MSNBC, CNN, those networks rather than the more conservative ones, because you get a lot of more teeth gnashing and more whining and complaining, and it's more fun that way, especially for somebody who likes telenovelas.
Oh, Oberman was so much fun yesterday.
Yeah, he was. Oh, that was classic. And somebody should make a TV show just based on his entire character. It would seriously. That would be epic.
Oh, let's see. I thought if I used the search feature on here, it would pull up faster, but it's not. It's weird. Nothing's been preempted for tonight. Right now, ABC is showing a brand new episode of Will Trent, and then The Rookie comes on it in just a little bit, and I'm like, wait.
Well, when you think about it, you have what do you call it? Biden's ahead on everything. Nobody's beating him. He's pretty much the only one running for the Democratic primary in every state. And
the Ouija board lady unsuspended her campaign, so you never know.
That's true, but looking at the returns, it has not been a surprise that Biden has been winning the Democratic primaries. So,
what's been surprising to me is everywhere that I've seen, they have been showing an uncommitted or undecided vote of anywhere between 8 to 10%. If that doesn't change before November, Biden's toast. Because that's his cushion gone.
Yep, that's true. So that was one of the things that I was kind of noticing on, they were, CNN was like, yeah, Biden won and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And I'm going, he's running against Williamson. He's running against, what's his name? Dean, whatever his name is, Caldwell. I forget his name. These people have no presence. It's all Biden right now. So of course he's going to win. I went in to vote today, and my paper ballot still had Vivek on it, still had Christie on it, still had Ron DeSantis on it. And I was like, did y'all just give up? I mean, you've had plenty of time to, by the time Super Tuesday came around, you had the time to figure out who was going to be on the ballot. But it's like they gave up.
Wow.
Like they said, okay, all these people are running right now. Let's print out the ballots and just send them out. And whoever drops out, well, too bad. Whoever stays in, well, okay. It's pretty much the way it went down. And it was funny because I walked into my polling precinct and one side was the Dem primary and the other side was the Republican primary. There was no one voting in the Democratic primary. There was nobody on that side. I mean, the people that were running it were there, but there were no people coming in to vote. Meanwhile, the Republican side, that line is out the door. And I'm like, welcome to East Texas. I was cracking. I was like, wow, maybe they did it early. I don't know. And of course,
Democrats vote early.
Well, they voted early. They voted often. So.
Yep. I was saying that at the same time you were. I was like, Democrats vote early and often, so not really surprising. So North Carolina is too early to call, but with 8% of the vote in, Trump is up by 75% of the vote. So I'm kind of surprised they haven't called that one yet, but we'll see. Vermont, Williamson actually captured almost 5% of the vote, which is, again, remember, Ouija board lady. So
Yep.
If a Ouija board lady gets almost 5% of your vote, do you really have a candidate? I'm just saying.
That's she does have a following. I got to give it to her. She hangs on and she does reach a certain block. The block is small, but she does reach out. And, everybody that does their little chakras and meditative crystals and everything, they really like her.
Man, MSNBC gets a little happy with the cameras. It's making me dizzy with the way they're moving them around. It looks like 14% of the votes have been counted in Vermont, so Trump is slowly starting to edge Haley out there. It's up 51.5 to 45%. Scary thing about that is that's 14% of the vote, and like little less than 10,000 people have voted total so far, and that's 14%. I mean, it's Vermont. Wow. I have no idea what their population's like, but let me get back over to the map that I can actually zoom in on now that things are starting to show up. Where did you go? Oh, wait, there you are. Vermont. Let's see. Looks like Williston is where Haley's got a lot of her support, which is not really that surprising population-wise. There are some little yellow pockets, though. Looks like Thetford is leaning Haley, but again, a small number of votes in total so far. But that's the weird thing, because normally, I mean, this is just another one of those anomalous kind of things, because normally female candidates do much better in suburban areas. Nikki Haley's outperforming in some of the rural areas where there's almost no voting. It's weird. Like Leicester County, which so far has 98.8% of the votes counted. She secured 87 votes. Donald Trump got 76. Thetford, she has 217 votes. Donald Trump got 98, and again, that's 99% counted. So it's just weird, because normally, when you look at these kind of things, normally the female candidates do better in, like, not necessarily like heavy metropolitan areas, but at least more densely populated suburb areas. These places seem like they're almost rural by the number of people that have voted, or there's just nobody coming out to vote. Which, that's the other thing. I mean, yeah, Nikki Haley's edging out in these places, but you're talking about less than 500 votes between the two, so does anybody really care? Yeah, Brad, it was just me for like the first hour, so I was like playing music and stuff, and Brad and I were texting. He's like, there's not really going to be much drama on this tonight. I was like, I know, but I kind of feel like we need to do it, especially since I do this pretty much full time now. He's like, woo. He's like, I'll come on in a little bit. So just for fun, let's see how much weeping and gnashing of teeth are going on the MSNBC side.
State, again, we just have very little from Maine right now. And again, you might think New England, blue state in the fall. Remember, Trump has won now twice. One of Maine's 2 congressional districts in general elections, getting an electoral vote out of Maine both times. There are some basically suburban areas, higher population relative to the state in southern Maine along the coast, affluent suburbs, some of it's sort of almost Boston suburbs, a long way to Boston, but it's still doable. Haley can rack up votes there, but overall, the votes here really shift more towards that blue-collar, white voter without college degree demographic than in other New England states. So that looks like a climb for Haley.
Steve, let me interrupt you just for one moment. I'm sorry, but we do have a call to make. In the great state of Oklahoma, over to the decision desk, NBC News can project winners in both the Republican and Democratic races for president in Oklahoma. The projected winner of the Republican presidential contest is Donald Trump, and the projected winner of the Democratic contest is Joe Biden. We also have an additional call in Tennessee in the Democratic contest.
Yeah, not really surprising about Oklahoma, but let's get it over into our map so I can take a look at it, because I didn't expect them to call that one that fast. Those polls only closed 15 minutes ago. So let's see what's going on there.
I was kind of surprised at not really surprised at the hostility towards, rural American voters, the less educated. I'm like, whoa, what? You can't say something like that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the guy they have doing the coverage looks like he's an intern they put in a tie.
I mean,
he looks
holy
5.
Crap.
Okay, let's get it. Oh, hey, I'm figuring out how to work the map a little bit better. I backed out of this accidentally like twice. Let's see. Oh, they called it early because, AP hasn't called it yet. There's only 5% of the vote counted. I mean, it's going to be Trump. There's no way it won't. Right now, with 5% of the vote counted, they're showing that he has it 76. Well, I just jumped to, I guess they just tallied some more, but it's still only showing 5%. 76.6% of the vote to Nikki Haley's 20.3. So, not necessarily surprising, but still. I don't see, looking at the Oklahoma map, I don't even see a smattering of Haley yellow anywhere yet. It's all coming back. I mean, it's either grayed out or red. It's pretty much where we are right now. Again, kind of surprising. Tulsa County, which is a fairly liberal county in my state, has Trump up 69.1%. Hit. Too bad that 1.1 was there. Damn it. Almost got to say 69. Nerds. Oklahoma County, again, one of the few liberal counties in my state, thanks to a lot of the whole gentrification crap they've been doing. Trump is currently up 60.2% to Nikki Haley's 35.5%, but again, about 5% of the vote counted. So, I mean, Oklahoma has been Trump country every time he's been on the ballot. The primary season, he basically captured all 77 counties in 2015, 2016. Then in the general election, same for last major election, but with Biden versus Trump. So that doesn't surprise me that he's basically running away with it. But, I guess they did finally call it. AP just called it as of 47-16, Oklahoma has been called for Trump. And Haley's closeness is dwindling. She's now at 20% of the vote. Ron DeSantis actually still captured 1.5%. Chris Christie sitting at 0.7%. Vivek Ramaswamy got a whole 0.03% in Oklahoma. So there are people that are still voting for the other folks. Believe it or not. Let's see if anything. Looks like North Carolina has officially been called. That was actually just now. 74.3% of the vote going to Donald Trump with 15.9% tallied. Virginia was called earlier. D.C. went to Haley, of course, over the weekend. So, looks like, whoa, New Mexico doesn't do theirs until June 4th. Arizona's March 19th. Kansas is March 19th. Just kind of getting a feel for the rest of the map. Louisiana is not until March 23rd.
Oh, wow. Right now, looking at the Texas map, not all results are in, but so far, President Trump has 380,000, with about 74% going for him. Nikki Haley's at 21%. Uncommitted at 2%, and the other candidates had smattering, 3.2% with the other candidates. I was like, why? But you left them on the ballot, so people were kind of voting for them. And as far as, the Democratic presidential was obviously Joe Biden, 89%. Marianne, a very, very far distant second at 3.4%. And amazingly enough, not everything has been called yet. Most of the counties that are calling are in the Fort Worth, Dallas area, Austin area, and Houston area. One lonely county up in the Panhandle, I believe that's Loving County, which has a population of 37, because that is the only county that's actually a cattle ranch in and of itself.
Zooming in on the map, it looks like the only red dot I see in Texas and the Panhandle is in Randall County so far.
Oh, no, I was talking to Democratic. Oh. So, yeah.
Oh, I don't have the...
For the GOP, yeah, that one. Yeah, so far just one in the Panhandle. But, just a little smattering. He's now risen at 74% of the vote. So, I mean, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise at all. So,
no, I mean, I didn't really expect any surprises. It's kind of like I've been telling people all day on social media, and even said it in the chat earlier. Now playing the part of General Custer, Nikki Haley.
For the GOP, Ted Cruz here in the state of Texas is at 89% of the vote so far. Colin Allred for the Democrats is leading. But, it's amazing to me because Ted Cruz has 184,000 votes. Colin Allred has 47,000 votes. But Colin Allred is leading the Democratic primary for the Senate. So, interesting little tidbit. Not sure what's going on in the House, though. The House had a few weird things going on. So, we have 9 districts that are up for, that people are watching closely.
The one that I think is funny, and of course none of the votes have started coming in yet, so the positioning may change, is California right now with 0% of the votes counted. They have Asa Hutchinson on top.
Well, what I'm kind of upset about this because Crenshaw is leading in his district. And when I was down in his district and I was talking to people who live there, because I do have friends that live in his district, they were very upset with Crenshaw. So I don't understand why he's pulling ahead of Ellis at all. Because a lot of people who had voted for Crenshaw were saying, we're just going to vote for the Democrat this time around. There is no point to having a Republican that's a Democrat. And I tend to agree. So I'm kind of surprised about that one.
Apparently they changed their mind.
Yeah, I guess so. But, everybody was kind of hoping that Ellis could pull it off, and he may still do it. I mean, it's Crenshaw leads 57% to 43%, and the polls are still not closed there, so we'll see. But that was kind of the one I was kind of hoping that he would lose in the primary. And I know that sounds kind of mean, but not really, because
really.
he's a snake, in my opinion. And I do not take away from his service whatsoever. If you had the nerve and the gumption to serve this country in the military, that's fine. That's great. I mean, that's one of the reasons I really like Chris Christopherson. He served, he did his time in Vietnam. He found that he was very much anti-war, and he has been an anti-war advocate ever since. He at least tested the waters. He knows where it's coming from. I can admire that. But for Crenshaw to go up there and say, I want to get rid of the swamp, and like the first, within the first 6 months of his first, term, he's talking about, well, I need to spend time campaigning and, getting campaign funds. And I'm like, that's not your job. Your job is to actually represent your people. It really rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, that's part of the reason why I feel like there's so many things that we need to change, because especially on the House side, it's like they start campaigning again as soon as they win. And I'm like...
Yes, and that's because it's a 2-year stint in the House, so they feel that they're there for 6 months. Oh, I got to start campaigning so that people don't forget that I'm here. Like, believe me, we do not forget where you're at, because if you don't do anything for us the way we voted you to do, we'll remember that shit.
Well, we always say we're going to, though. But if you notice, though, I mean, and this is something we talk about all the time, but if you notice that, when it comes election season, it's like everybody's like, I mean, you look at the overall approval rating of Congress, and they're like less popular than a hooker with herpes, but then everybody votes in the same people over and over and over again. I'm like, how is that even possible? I don't understand how a group as a whole can be less popular than a hooker with herpes, but we keep sending the same people back. Now, that's not always the case, because Crenshaw was one of the people that, from Texas, that everybody was like, oh my God, we have somebody that understands this, and he's this, and he's that. And 6 months in, he became that which he swore to fight.
Yes, exactly. He did. And he disappointed a lot of people. And that's why I find it very, upsetting that Ellis is not pulling off a win in the primary for that district here in Texas. I really, really wanted Ellis to pull this off, because I wanted Crenshaw to understand that you have a job to do, and your job is not fundraising. If you want that job, then become a campaign fundraiser for somebody else, somebody else's campaign manager. But don't do that. That's not why you were sent there. That's why I like the guy that I've voted for today here in my district. He has, I don't think he's even sent out, I think he sent out one flyer. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm still here, and this is what I've done. And if you have an issue, feel free. I'll be in town on this week. And he actually comes back to Texas, regularly and holds, town halls and stuff. And he has a rather big district over here. So big as in acreage, the size, the radius, rather than the amount of people. But he doesn't make you travel to all these places. What he does is he picks like 5 cities. He lets everybody know where he's going to be at what time and what day. And that way you can go to the closest one. So you don't have to, I don't have to travel like Tyler every time I want to, go to a town hall. He actually has one that's a little closer to town, about 20 miles from me. So I go to that one. So he tries to accommodate as many people as he can. And I really, but it was funny because he sent out the flyer. Yeah, by the way, I'm running again. This is what we got done in the legislature. This is what I'm still pushing for. This, got voted down. And he gives you a complete rundown of everything that he did while he was in the House. And I'm like, that's what you should be doing. And I get that you're not going to get everything done that you say you want to do. But that's what I want. And this is why, some personal friends of mine who happen to be conservatives really don't understand why I like several Democrats here in Texas, because they do the same thing. Henry Cuellar is one of them. He is like the prime example. He is a Democrat. But his constituency is Democrat, okay? So it makes sense that he gets voted in. But he goes out of his way. I mean, he has been extremely critical of the Biden administration when it comes to the border because his district is on the border. And he gets the brunt of all of the cattlemen, of all of the farmers, everybody that has land that is being trespassed on daily, things that get stolen, people who get violated. All of that falls on his lap, and he wants that border closed. And so, the Biden administration does not like him. And he's a Democrat. So, there are a few who actually take this job seriously. Crenshaw is not one of them. So that's why I kind of wanted him to lose in the primary. I really wanted him gone.
Yeah, you should not hold back so much. Just saying.
I think everybody had high hopes for him because he is a war hero, and he knows what it's like to be in the trenches. He knows what it's like to fight for the little guy.
All right, well, we do have one to call. Maine just swung for Trump.
No, really?
Yep. As of right now, according to the AP, with 17% of the vote counted, Trump is up 68.6% to Haley's 30%. Other candidates receiving 1.4. So much for that trying to take him off the ballot shit. I swear, they're just galvanizing everybody that wants to vote for the guy. We could have had DeSantis if they would have just left him the fuck alone.
I know.
Stop making me defend Lord Spraytan.
This is, it's funny because Brad and I were getting ready for our show, and we did not realize. I mean, it's like we knew what was going on. Obviously, we were planning on going to vote and everything. We knew this.
That was the part that confused me. I was like, did you at least remember to go vote? You're like, yeah. And I'm like, how did you forget it was Super Tuesday if you've already voted?
I know. It completely slipped my mind. I was dumb. And so it was kind of funny when you hit me up and asked me to be on tonight. And I was like, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Let me hit up Brad.
Well, yeah, I asked in the work group like 12 hours ago and nobody answered me. So I just started texting people individually and everybody was like, wait, it's Super Tuesday? I'm like, does nobody pay attention? So don't feel bad. You weren't the only one because everybody was like, wait, it's Super Tuesday? I'm like, we're supposed to be a streaming radio station. Yeah, does nobody pay attention to this stuff but me? Maybe I am the nerd I always didn't want to be when I grew up. Too late.
But, so it got preempted. That's the worst part about having a Tuesday show is that during election season, you don't You're gonna have to be preempted.
Yeah. Well, lately it's been Tuesdays and actually Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays have been getting preempted a lot during election season because it's like half of the debates were on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and then like Thursday night won't be regular programming either because we're doing State of the Union, which will probably be more entertaining than this because then we can make fun of Joe Biden and his spokes puppet, the Cookie Monster. Weirdest thing ever.
What? I don't. That's just not right.
Funny thing is, again, in one of the work chats, everybody was like, "I wonder who Jim Henson actually had his hand up." I was like, "Well, you remember Henson had two hands, right?" So it could have technically been both.
Yeah, I don't. I get what the administration with the whole puppet thing and everything, but the thing is, even though, yes, when we watched the Muppet Show, the Muppet movies, all of that, we understood that there were adult jokes and kid jokes. They were all very well written for that, for that effect. It was really well done.
Yeah.
But when you have a Muppet as a spokesperson for something that's going on in your administration, you're not targeting the right people. You're trying to get the younger people to remember so that as they grow up, they connect that to that particular. And it is very effective. Actors do this all the time. Everybody was making fun of Vin Diesel when he did The Pacifier. Vin Diesel was an action movie star. He was doing rated R movies all over the place, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes and does The Pacifier. And I'm going, it's genius. And it really was. The Rock did the same thing.
Yeah. The Rock is the Tooth Fairy was amazing. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And the Game Plan, that was another one that he did for Disney. And, so they did kid-friendly movies. Those kids grew up. And now they have a brand new set of eyes, I guess, a new generation that recognizes them from that particular film or those particular films, and now can transition into older films, action films that they're still doing. And the old stuff, too. Oh, no, seriously, actors do this all the time. So
every action star has to do the kid movie.
Yes, they do.
Contractual obligation. Dave Bautista just did one. Was it The Bodyguard or something like that?
Yes, exactly.
Or Reynolds, Cop and a Half.
Cop and a Half.
Wasn't Bautista the one where he was like a secret CIA agent or something? I remember seeing something about it, but I don't think I ever watched it. So Vermont may be the surprise of the evening because it's going back the other way again. Right now, Nikki Haley's on top, 48.3% to Donald Trump's 48.1%. Never thought I'd use.
What the hell is Jeff? He has a lot to answer for.
I blame the aliens.
Well, it's kind of interesting, or I shouldn't say interesting, revealing. Nikki Haley seems to do really well in Democrat districts. Look at the way she smoked D.C.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, if you zoom in, it's pretty much all about the Democratic districts.
Oh, and they were, seriously, I had people crowing to me over, once Facebook went back up, by the way. They were, one of my cousins actually reached out to me on Facebook Messenger, and she asked me if, what I thought about the whole Nikki Haley, winning D.C., and I said, there are no Republicans there. So, of course, she was going to win.
Yeah.
And she's like, but she's Republican. I said, in name only. And she was like, what do you mean? And I told her, I said, her entire platform, all of the stuff that she said, she is not a right-leaning person anymore. She's completely establishment. She doesn't, I am not surprised that she won D.C.
You can't find a conservative in D.C. any easier than finding A1 sauce at Whole Foods.
Well, they don't know how to cook a steak in D.C., so you kind of there's a run on steak sauce. Because if you cook a steak right, you don't need sauce. Just saying.
I use salt. I use butter. I use rosemary in the pan, and I use garlic spread on top. I never use steak sauce.
I put steak sauce on hamburger.
I put it in the meat before cooking it.
Yeah, I mean normally that's what I do with hamburger, but yeah, the funny
steak I go with coriander, Montreal seasoning, and some Worcestershire. That just makes the best glaze.
Oh well, that makes sense. You should actually toss a little bit of Dutch cocoa powder in there. If you have coriander, you will never go back.
Actually, I use at the end. I use just like a dusting, barely touch it with cinnamon. That makes everything, all the other flavors jump out, and then the meat.
I'm telling you,
interesting. I haven't done that yet.
You're Dutch. You understand this.
Oh wait, that's right. I'll try that.
I'm just saying, my favorite chocolates when I lived in Germany were it was chocolate with coriander. It was amazing. It was incredible. So I decided to try it whenever I cooked with coriander, and I would do maybe 1 teaspoon of Dutch processed cocoa in there. Not the sweetened stuff, just the cocoa. And it was, the flavor profile just was so elevated and so good. So I'm just trying to help you.
You're right. Well, every so often I get those chocolate nibs.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I'll just sit there and I shave that. Usually I get it with like, I get like a milk stout or something like that. I might add a little bit of that to it just for something, but ice cream or something. I used to just keep the whole bean right there in the cabinet. And I just, boom, steak knife, shavings, good. I'll bear that in mind for steak now.
I'm just saying, just try a little bit.
I don't know that I've ever had chocolate with coriander, though.
Oh, man, I was addicted, and I have looked for it everywhere here, and nobody has it. And it was Lindt Chocolatiers that actually made this over there, but you cannot find it here.
And I wonder if Rick is pulling out his hair that we're turning into the Food Network instead of talking about voting.
No, not really. I was just sitting over here watching the Vermont results, wondering how Trump feels about Nikki Haley being on top.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
I mean, she's a pretty lady. I'll give her that. But that's all I'll give her.
I see. I don't really see it anymore. Now I'm not gonna lie. 2016. She walked on the scene with that dress and them boots, and I was like, now I'm just like, I don't see it anymore. You annoy me. Go away.
Well, yeah, that level of annoyance actually kind of, yeah, I get that.
She went from hottie to harpy in 4 years. I've never really seen that happen before. Oh wait, did I say that out loud? My bad.
Sorry, adjusting the microphone here.
Yeah. Pretty sure you ran a disclaimer already.
Oh yeah, repeatedly. I pretty much leave it on now, even when we go to break, just so anybody that joins late still has a chance to hear it.
You just have it in chat where it just flashes on and off real slowly.
Well, we actually already have a disclaimer at the bottom of the chat, too. This chat may contain adult language and themes.
Welcome to KLRN Radio. Don't sue us.
More like, welcome to KLRN Radio, where no fucks are given if we offend you. And that was for you, Dad, because you don't like that word. And I know you're probably listening right now.
Oh man, I think Nikki Haley is like watching Vermont I mean, she is like really hanging on by a thread there.
No, Nikki Haley is.
I looked at the count and it was like 1 vote apart. It's like holy shit.
No, at this point, Nikki Haley is slurping on Vermont like a crack whore. Just saying.
Yeah, probably.
Waiting for the next fix. Looks like there's about almost 200 vote separation now, but it's pretty much still a statistic dead heat. She's got 11,336. Trump has 11,196. So but they are up to 38.9% of the vote. This one may take a while to call. They were expecting her to get some of the New England votes, so Vermont doesn't necessarily surprise me. I will say Maine being called so early for Trump, like I said, I think them trying to pull the shenanigans they pulled in Maine and then getting smacked down by the Supreme Court on a 9-0 yesterday kind of galvanized people to go out and vote for Trump just to stick it to the crazy lady. Because that was a quick call, in my opinion. The one thing that I loved about yesterday was watching all the prefabricated talking points coming out like this was going to be like a 5-4. Because everybody was like, even the dissenting opinions don't really make any sense. And I'm like, there really weren't any dissenting opinions. There were dissenting about the extent to which the majority opinion said that you can't do this. But they didn't say that anybody was able to do this. The few people that kind of filed what would have been a dissenting opinion but was actually more of kind of an addendum, I don't remember the exact word that they used, were basically saying that they wanted, like Maine and the other states that had tried to do this, to have to bring up their own cases to try to give more time for Trump to be off the ballot, which I think is the only reason why the Supreme Court did this yesterday, because they wanted this answered before today, because pretty sure Colorado's today too, so it kind of needed to be answered today. Because Maine and Colorado both were one of the ones that were like, yeah, no. And then Illinois tried it, but hell, theirs isn't until the 19th. But that was like, I don't really understand what happened in Illinois, because from everything that I can see, the judge that decided they were going to do this is like some sort of up-Trump traffic judge or something, and everybody's like, what the hell is he trying to do?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I saw that too. It was like, who let her? It's like she came in the off hours overnight and did this. Like, filed these papers before traffic court opened at 8 in the morning or something like that. What the hell's going on in your state?
I mean, it's Illinois. But honestly, I think a lot of people are scared because people in Chicago are pissed. I mean, there's so many staunchly, like, always blue cities right now that are just completely pissed at Democrats. And it's because of folks like Abbott and DeSantis that have been like, fine, you want to be a sanctuary city? Here, be a sanctuary city. Hell, there's a county in New York right now that is going to war with New York City because they keep trying to ship migrants over to that county. And that county's like, no, y'all signed up to be a sanctuary city. We're not a sanctuary county. We don't want your shit. Keep them over there. It's just
you see what's going on in Michigan, where they're just getting buried because of the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite things, and I was going to talk about it today if I wasn't trying to make sure I ran errands yesterday, and my two children who are technically adults and do know how to take care of themselves got a little cleaning happy yesterday and decided to do like a month's worth of laundry in one day. And I'm like, you remember we live in the country, right? So I woke up and my living room was flooded because it took forever for the water to run back in. I'm like, what did you guys do? Then I came and looked at the laundry room, and the laundry room was empty. And I'm like, you guys did like 20 loads of laundry while I was running errands yesterday, didn't you? And they're like, yeah, but at least we got it done. I'm like, yeah, but you did it so fast.
2 loads.
You flooded my living room. We have a septic tank. Y'all can't do 20 loads of laundry all at once. But anyway, so yeah, joys of living in the country, which is why I didn't do an afternoon show today. Otherwise, I was going to have a lot of fun about AOC and how she was screaming and yelling about everybody should get in Trump supporters' faces until Palestinian protesters got in her faces. And yes, I said faces because she's officially got at least 2 of them. So,
OMG, I'm at the Alamo House watching a movie. There's no time for this. This is not the place. I'm getting popcorn. You're making me uncomfortable, said the woman whose famous quote is, protesters are supposed to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's funny how that only works when it's not against you. It's kind of like I pointed out. I pointed out today, that, when Trump was the one trying to not certify the vote, everybody called insurrection. Now you've got the Atlantic and Democrats calling about, well, if we happen to retake the House, we're just not going to certify the vote if Donald Trump wins. I'm like, if Donald Trump wins and you think you're going to retake the House, you're not fucking paying attention. Because that ain't going to happen anyway. But so I pointed that out, and somebody was like, well, I ain't never seen him say that, so somebody else dropped the Atlantic article, and then he's like, yeah, but, and I'm like, yeah, it's different when you guys do it, because you agree with it. I mean, at least...
That's the backwards thinking on this whole SCOTUS decision yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They keep bringing up, well, they just said they weren't allowed as a state. They didn't say that Trump is innocent of insurrection. It's like, well, they didn't have to because he hasn't been charged with it, you dipshits. Like, how did they clear his name for a charge he doesn't have hanging over his head? It's damn ridiculous. They're so desperate to have that be the case that they don't step back and even think logically. That's why I'm laughing at so many people. Like the Atlantic article with Adam Seawer and David French, they're all just losing their mind. It's like you're supposed to be the intellectuals in the room, and you're being emotional head case.
All right, so got 2 calls within the last minute. Neither one a surprise, actually. Alabama has gone to Trump with 11% of the vote counted so far, 86.8% to Nikki Haley's 10%. Tennessee has also been called within the last minute, 24.8% of the vote counted, 74% to Trump. Vermont is still too close to call. Nikki Haley still on top, 48.7% to 47.8%. That's a little weird. Yeah, Jeff, fix your state, bro. To hell.
Well, I mean, I'm going to temper the excitement just a little bit. Let's just say Nikki wins. What's in the balance there? Like 12? Let me see.
I think it's
17.
I think I have it up here somewhere.
That's not what you call moving the needle.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing, right? So and this is something else that I was going to talk about this afternoon, so we might as well talk about it now since it's in the same vein. She's still, telling everybody, I'm not out yet, I'm not out yet, I'm not out yet. She has nothing planned in the event that she wins any of these states, even though they're expecting to pick up at least one out of the Northeast quarter and probably at least Utah. Nothing planned. She's got no speaking engagements. She did none today. She's got nothing on the calendar after today. So at this point, again, I've been saying this for basically the last week, now playing the part of General Custer, Nikki Haley. This was it. And in order for her to remain competitive, she would have had to run the entire table. So it's already done.
And she'll stay in.
Everything except mathematically. I think if Trump won every single delegate today, he still wouldn't lock the nomination, but that would mean then Nikki would have to win every single primary after this. And
I don't think she's here to win the nomination. I think she's here to get money.
Well,
for her, this is what it she's figured it out.
I think that's what it is now. But I honestly think she was expecting a different outcome yesterday, which is why she stayed in for as long as she did. And it didn't happen. So now the writing is on the wall because even the people that were like, well, Trump's not going to get full immunity, but there's a good chance the Supreme Court's going to say this isn't something that you guys can come after him for because you didn't technically charge him with this. Because everybody's acting like he's committed insurrection, but he's never actually been charged with it. So even if they say, yes, he has immunity, but this still needs to be looked at, that means it has to go all the way back to the lower court again. Then he still has the ability to appeal again, which is going to put this, even if it winds up being either a 5-4 or a 4-5 split going the other way, then unless it's just an outright, you're going to get your ass beat, then there's not going to be a trial for this before the election, no matter how badly anybody wants one. And that's why, you heard the Democrats yesterday, after this Supreme Court decision that apparently they weren't expecting, even though everybody, including me, was like, hey, after listening to this is either going to be 8-1 or 9-0. And it came out 9-0. Then they're like, well, it looks like now we don't have a choice. We have to beat him at the ballot box. Wait, good job saying the quiet part out loud and proving that we were right all along, that you were trying to take the guy out of the knees because you thought your guy was going to lose. Dumbasses.
I'm still leaning on the Democrat Party making a big change at the convention.
I mean, I would be too, but I don't know how they do it without basically getting everybody to stay home. Because, I mean, at this point, even Michelle Obama's press people are like, get the fuck away from me. So I don't see them, because that's been the right's concern, right, this whole time, is that if Michelle Obama gets in the race, we're done. I don't see that anyway, because the policies are the same. I mean, everybody that's been paying attention knows that the Obamas are mixed up in pretty much everything that Biden's trying to do. Even most of the Democrats know that now. So even if she says, okay, I'm going to become the standard bearer, everybody's going to be like, okay, so we're going to get 4 more years of what we got the last time. Do we really want that? So I don't see that working. I also don't see them being able to bring in the used car salesman from California because he's a white guy, and the commie llama is going to have a shit fit if that happens. And then the rest of the Democratic Party is going to fall apart. They're already barely holding it together with the schism between Israel and Islam. And I don't know where they go from here. Because the thing about it is, it doesn't matter what the hell Joe Biden says. It doesn't even matter what Donald Trump says. Netanyahu's going to do what Netanyahu needs to do to make sure Israel is safe. And if that means turning Gaza into a parking lot, that's what he's going to do. And nobody's going to be able to stop him. So this whole, Biden trying to put pressure here and Biden trying to work the middle just to try to not piss off the whole Ilhan Omar contingent, that can't work. And I'm sorry, but as far as I'm concerned, as soon as she started saying things like Somali first, she should have been run out of town.
But that's entirely Biden's problem right now, is that his foreign policy is entirely guided by domestic returns. He's not leading abroad or anything of the sort. He's making decisions based on what the polls here have to say, because he's doing so horribly. I think, I think yesterday I saw that his favorability numbers are the worst of any president at this stage in their presidency. And that includes Trump. I think he's down. I think he's negative 18 right now. Trump was like negative 11, something like that. And no incumbent has performed. In fact, Jimmy Carter, when he got stomped like a narc at a biker rally with Reagan, he had a favorability of like plus 10 or so. Biden is like double digit underwater. This is going to be brutal.
I mean, yeah.
That's the only reason why I think the Democrats are looking at for a solution, because one, his just performance level is horrendous, and two, his physical performance is even more horrendous and getting worse by the day.
There's pills for that, We have ads for those. Oh, wait. My bad.
He needs about 8 different pills. I mean, when I'm looking forward to the State of the Union, because at some point they're probably going to have to call like intermission, so they can go up there and hit him with another B12 shot to get him through it.
I'm just waiting for him to fall over and they have to hit the life alert button. Help, I'm falling and I can't get up.
The movie Dave 2.
I mean, the scariest thing about State of the Union, right, is assuming that they don't pull some sort of bait and switch at the convention, which they still may. I mean, the Democrats do have that whole superdelegate thing, which is why it became Biden instead of Bernie. But the thing about it is, Biden smoothed over a lot of those feathers by bringing a lot of Bernie's people into his administration, which is why all the green shit that they've tried to do is blown up in everybody's faces, because it does not work. Because as I talked about first hour when it was just me, these people are still pushing policies from the 60s, even though there's much better technology that could actually make everything green and safer. Because we now have an engine that runs on water, for God's sake. You put water in the gas tank, it separates the oxygen, that goes out the tailpipe, and the car runs on hydrogen. I'm just saying, if you're really trying to save the environment, wouldn't it be better to put out oxygen? Just maybe?
I wrote about it maybe a week or two ago. It just cracks me up that, they're all raving about gas prices going down, but they don't say why. Joe Biden has turned on the spigot when it comes to oil drilling.
Yeah. He has to. I mean, that's the whole thing.
But he can't tell them.
Well,
he cannot say it.
Well, nobody in the press will actually assert to that taking place, but he's got more oil production today than he did when he took office. But nobody wants to say it because that's going to fly right in the face of his green energy campaign and all the promises he made when he took office. So that's all. Oh, how fantastic of him to bring the prices down. Yeah, how'd he do it? How about them prices? They don't want to.
They cannot say why.
Uh-oh. Vermont's flipped again. So now we're back to missionary. Donald Trump, 48.6%. Nikki Haley, 47.8%, with 46.7% of the votes counted. So we are still too close to call, and barely an inch between the two.
Raising.
On purpose.
She's going to become a passive bottom.
Pretty sure she already is.
I am in the wrong chat.
Giggity goo. Stick around.
Just trying to bring any kind of drama to this.
I mean, this is the one bit of drama we're gonna. I mean, let's just be real. This is probably the one bit of drama we're gonna get tonight. I am kind of curious. I'm waiting for the California results to start coming in, because the MLB star has kind of been a dark horse over there. So I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with that.
Right.
So, but yeah, that'll be a bit, unfortunately. Colorado still hasn't started counting anything yet. Alabama's already been called. We've gone over that one. Tennessee's already been called. So the only one that's still got anything cooking right now is Vermont, and it's a back and forth. I mean, there's 0.8% between the two, but Donald Trump got tired of Nikki on top and rolled over.
God. Okay.
At this point, we're just trying to see how long it's going to take before Aggie hangs up.
Well, right now, from the laugh tone, she's purple. So, red. She's not purple yet, but she's getting there.
Almost.
I'm learning her laugh since we do Fridays together quite often now. I was mad though.
Start smacking that ballot.
I was mad though because I sent her a joke right before airtime and she didn't get it. So I was waiting to see if I could get her, because usually my goal on Friday is to get her to laugh so hard that she loses it. So I was saving one till the very end because I sent her a joke about it was a Catholic joke because it was Lent, and it was talking about, it was basically Jesus being turned into anime, and Jesus is like, Peter, when I said you were the rock of the church, I didn't mean Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So I was going to end the show with, can you smell what the rock of the church is cooking, to see if I could get her. But she never saw the joke until after, so I was bummed.
Listen, I never claimed to be quick on my feet, okay?
You do live radio. You have to be quick on your feet. If you're gonna do live radio, you kind of have to be quick on your feet. But it's all right because I've been feeding Loftus tips too. Because
listen, I'm not Speedy Gonzalez in this case. I'm Slowpoke Rodriguez, okay? But we all know what Slowpoke was packing, so there you go.
So what you're saying is you do your show high all the time?
No.
Because
I still love that mouse.
You realize that was the adult part of the joke.
One of my favorites.
You realize that was the adult part of the joke, though.
Speedy, he goes so fast.
You realize that was the adult part of the joke, right? Speedy was on meth, and the other guy was high.
Was on barbiturates, yeah. Yeah, that's way to go. Ruined another one for me. Okay.
Hey.
Before you put all these pills in the mouse trap, I'm going to get my tail caught in it.
I mean, Disney already ruined most of your childhood, so I figure I need to finish it off now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, this is true.
I still crack up that Disney owns Deadpool now, and Deadpool don't give a damn.
Oh. It's funny though because, and granted, it was compared, which the first one wasn't that great either, but the second one was even worse. So Aquaman 2. But the funny thing is, because I finally watched it, I waited until it came on to Max because I wasn't giving anybody any ticket money. So I tried to watch it. The first night I noticed it was on, and I fell asleep. So I watched it the next night and just made myself stay up. The funny thing is, they started trying to bring in some of the Deadpool style humor into that one, and for him, it actually works. because I'm not usually a fan of that, but for some reason, him being goofy, I kind of dug it. And then Orty and I were talking about it like the very next night. And I'm like, the weirdest thing about the dude that's playing Aquaman is the fact that he was actually part of the Atlantis crew in Stargate, and now he's the king of Atlantis in a movie.
Yes, it's a full circle. I mean, when he got picked to play, well, it is for me and Rick, okay, because we are geeks when it comes to Stargate universe. But
and you guys thought there'd be no drinking tonight. We've said Stargate like 5 times.
Aquaman, king of Atlantis. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta tell my people. And everybody got it. I was so happy. Yeah, for one brief moment in time, I actually beat everybody to the joke, and it was great.
That doesn't happen for you very often, so good job.
No, it does not. So I rejoiced.
That's all right. Orty told me something I didn't know. Apparently, Momoa was on Baywatch, and I guess I didn't even recognize him way back then. I was like, he was.
Yeah, he had short hair and everything, and everybody misses. He was in Bullet to the Head. He was the bad guy in Bullet to the Head with Sylvester Stallone.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that one.
Wait. Was he?
Yes, he was.
Oh crap! You're right now. I think okay. All right.
Listen, when it comes to a babe, I will know everything about Peppers.
Well, I mean, you know,
he's just like
true, but you and I have different definitions of babes, so that's why it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
He was about to get locked into that, permanent bad guy typecast cycle, but he managed to escape it. Thanks,
did.
Lisa Bonet.
Yeah. She's been good for him.
Oh, and another call as of 30 seconds ago. No big surprise. Texas has gone for Donald Trump, 75.7%.
There's a shock. Okay.
Did not see that coming.
No, did not. Nope, did not. I mean, everybody that was in line. I was telling this to Rick at the beginning of the show. When I went to vote, the Democratic Party was on the right side of the building, and the Republican primary was on the left side of the building. And
That's
the Democratic
backwards.
side
Should have complained.
had no one. The workers were there, but there was nobody in line to vote. Nothing. No one. Meanwhile, the Republican primary line was out the door. I was standing literally next to the fence to the recreational playground, because the polling place was actually, believe it or not, near the rodeo and the playground and all that area. So I was by the playground waiting to go in. It took me almost an hour to go in. They did not anticipate, because they only had like 6 tables set up, and that's 2 people each. And so, we all had to wait. But everybody standing in line, just looking at the Democratic side going, maybe we should go vote over there. Just really wreak havoc.
We borrow your tables and ballots because you're not using them.
I know.
And of course, on the other side, Trump has now, or Biden has now been called for Texas on the Democratic side too. Again, no surprise.
Yeah, and no, but everybody, was talking about who they were going to vote for and all that stuff. And the gentleman in front of me was like, "Yeah, this isn't news. This is not going to shock anybody. We're pretty much here for Trump. I mean, he's going to take it." And I was very non-committal. I did not say anything or stuff. And then I saw one of my girlfriends there, and so we were standing around talking and everything. And she was surprised at the amount of people that were there to vote. And I was like, welcome to East Texas. Even I know this place is red. I've only been here for 2 years. And she said, well, yeah, I know, but I didn't think there'd be this many. And I'm like, and this is only one of the poll stations. There were, in my tiny little burg, there were 4. So that was pretty interesting. Everybody wanted to make sure to vote. They really, really wanted to vote. So that was nice to see, because you're always afraid that there are going to be so sick and tired of the election that they just don't want to deal with voting.
Wow, something I never want to see again. Circle back Psaki, Joy Reid, and Rachel Maddow all on the same panel. I hope I never see that again. Ugh. Anyway, sorry. Got distracted. I was pulling up to see if there were any meltdowns going on. Psaki's being a little animated, though, so could be interesting.
A quick shout out to our friend Mike, who completely has paid off his house.
Hey, Mike,
He
you
has
want to
no
come?
mortgage,
You want to come pay off mine now? Asking for a friend.
Congratulations! That's a big.
That is awesome. One of the things I haven't talked about this week, which I'm actually kind of excited for, is Oklahoma has done away with state sales tax on food. It doesn't get rid of the city sales tax, but one of the next things I'm going to start trying to push people for is a moratorium on property taxes past 65, because it's just stupid to make old people keep having.
Yeah, I think that should be a thing. You're right. It should be a thing. The sales tax on food, that's kind of weird. But, in Texas, we don't tax food. But it was weird.
Oklahoma didn't used to either. Oklahoma didn't.
When we went to Pennsylvania, they didn't tax clothing. I'm like, really? Man, I went on a shopping spree. I was in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, well the thing about like the funny thing with me is, when we went to CPAC for the first time, there was a diner we went to in Maryland, and it was like, well, we don't tax this, we don't tax that, but then you look at the receipt and there's like city tax, county tax, state tax, this tax, that tax. I'm like, what the hell? Like there's like $7 added to my bill in taxes. What the hell is the matter with you people? Colorado's
That's
starting
one of the
to get
things
some
that cracked
results
me up during the Trump term when he said that they were going to do away with the deduction of state municipal taxes. And it was only Democrats losing their mind because that kind of crap only happens in Democrat states.
Well, that's why I always laugh my ass off when they talk about how, it's red states that actually pay more taxes. I'm like, no, because you guys get to write off more of your shit in blue states. That's why you were having a fucking cow about when he said he was going to get rid of that stuff. It looks like Colorado's starting to get results. In Jefferson County has 95% of the votes counted. Donald Trump is leading there, 57.6%. So, again, Colorado, good job pissing everybody off and making them come out to vote for Trump. Idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Idiots. We could have had DeSantis, but they just had to keep coming after him.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Because everybody I talk to was like, well, I'm voting for him. I mean, I've heard people, I've talked to people who've been like, I would vote for him at this point if he was in a jail cell. I'm like, really? Really? But that's just how pissed everybody is. And it's kind of the same thing that we keep coming back to. I mean, Biden was such an unknown quantity 4 years ago. And Trump was somebody that everybody was just tired of hearing about because of all of the drama and everybody coming after him. And we still didn't even know most of what we know now about the FBI and the CIA colluding to try to get him taken out before he won the election in 2016. And there's just so many other things that have come out that now everybody's like, well, we thought Biden was going to be the safe little cozy uncle that everybody could snuggle with and everything would be cool. And it turns out he's just some creeper who don't even know where he is every other 5 minutes and is destroying everything. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless they do figure out a way to pull some sort of a switcheroo. I mean, even like right now, I'm looking at the Democratic results. There's anywhere between usually 4 to 7% uncommitted or undecided. Unless there's some sort of major swing or some sort of a swap out, I don't know how Biden survives this one, and everybody's acting like it's going to be no big deal.
It's pretty much been exposed by now that Biden is just the old relative you put on the sofa and give him a calculator, and he thinks it's a TV remote and just occupies himself that way while everybody else is actually running the show.
Well, I mean,
we don't know who's running the show.
The funniest thing about this is the exact thing that we talked about when we were doing this in 2015, 2016, when we were, sitting there and we're watching the polls all of a sudden start to close, and everything was wrong. And 538 was like, holy shit, he's going to win. And everybody's like, holy shit, he's going to win. So we're all joking about how we should, give him a tranquilizer and somebody just take him to, the old West Wing set and just put him in there so he can pretend to be president. We're literally watching that right now. It's like everything that we joked about that we were afraid Trump was going to do, Biden has done. And he's basically pretending to be president while Obama's doing exactly what he said he would do if he had the chance. If I could basically have a third term while I was camped out in my basement, that would be awesome. Well, congratulations. Apparently you figured out how to make that shit happen. Because, damn.
I mean, look at the other day. He has an impromptu. No, it wasn't impromptu. It was definitely choreographed. But he has a somewhat of a presser on the sofa in the White House. He's got note cards for this. He says something completely wrong, and Kirby had to come out at the press podium within 10 minutes and correct the record. Do you guys maybe want to loop the president in on what you're doing just so it doesn't look so obvious?
Oh. Uh-oh.
It was bizarre and pathetic.
So it's still considered too close to call, but I'm going to go ahead and call it now because unless something major changes in the next little bit, looks like Vermont's actually going to wind up probably going for Trump. 53.3% of the vote has been counted. Trump is now up 48.9% and Nikki Haley's 46.5%. So doing a county drill down real quick just so I can see. But yeah, from everything that I'm seeing here, from everything that's turning red, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Vermont may have been one of her outside shots, but I don't think she's got enough women to carry it at this point because they're over halfway done and Trump's leading.
And how do they break down the delegates there? Is it all for one, or they
I don't know.
portion it out on percentage at all?
Let's look because I don't know. I have that pulled up here somewhere because I had to have it in another tab. Hang on. The weird thing is, the language everybody uses now is really confusing because it's some of them are well, it's winner take all unless there's a percentage, and then it's this if they're can we just break it down like we used to?
That it's not winner take all. Jeez.
Can we just maybe break it down like we used to? Anyway, why is that not working? Anyway, hang on. Michelle Obama, of course, is trending again. Go figure.
I'm just curious to see if Vermont turns out for Nikki Haley to be they'll give her 3 or 4 delegates. So basically she's going to drop $40 at the gaming stand at the carnival, and she's going to walk away with a little inflatable toy that's about 2 inches. Hey, here you go. There you go. Thank you.
It looks like they only have 17 delegates. And it doesn't really say if it's winner take all. Vermont has 17 delegates in the Republican presidential primary. There's 16 Democratic delegates. Doesn't say if it's winner take all or not. But just so we're clear, because of the stuff that has been called so far, Donald Trump is currently leading Nikki Haley 532 delegates to 46. So, yeah.
Yeah. And still she won't leave.
Bye, Nikki.
She will not leave.
No.
You clearly don't understand moral victory, Aggie.
Apparently not, Brad.
Jeff in the chat.
I'm staying in this race for the Democrats who voted for me. I mean, for the people that want me.
Well, this is the thing, right? This is what's been driving me crazy because every time she's ever on, because she's been on with everybody. She's done around CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all of them, and everyone she's like, well, 77% of the country says they don't want a rematch between Trump and Biden. Okay, so maybe it says that, but if it actually says that, why isn't the vote shaping up that way? I don't understand. Yes, I'm using Windows. I have an actual computer, not Apple shit.
Wow. Okay.
Raptor's giving me crap. He's like, Rick's using Windows. It's like, yes, I'm using Windows. At least I don't lick Windows. Well, not always.
Yeah, those days are past for me. I think.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, if you have to think, then that means you're not sure. So, just kidding. I don't know. It doesn't. Well, ABC News is who came up first, but yeah, it doesn't. Let me just do a search on it. It's like, nobody just wants to give me the information that I'm looking for. They want to give me all of it. Like, I just want to know if Vermont is winner take all, damn it. Why can I not get this question answered?
Try benandjerrys.com.
I'm afraid of where that's going to take me, to be honest.
I hear Tell Them Boys is somewhat political.
Can't be any less political than Sesame Street at this point.
How sad is that within a month we've had Elmo and now the Cookie Monster weighing in on politics?
I mean, what are they trying to do? Lock up the toddler vote? I don't get it. I mean, it's either that or Joe's trying to arrange a date. I'm not sure which one.
But don't call them groomers.
Oh, wait. I guess I was wrong, because Vermont's only 45.7% of the vote. I could have swore that said 54 a second ago. I guess I transposed the number. But Trump's lead is still growing. He's now 1.4 percentage points above Haley.
I'm looking at 55% reporting, and Trump is up 49 to 47.3.
According to AP, they're still only showing 46.5.
Well, you ought to go to Red State, because that's a much more reputable news outlet.
Yeah. Just because you work there.
It can be two things.
Yeah. I still think it's funny that California has Trump all the way at the bottom with Christie and Pinky. They literally have it right now 0% reporting, of course, because they haven't even closed yet. They don't close for another 40 minutes. But candidates listed in order: Asa Hutchinson, GOP; Nikki Haley, GOP; other candidates, and then Trump, Christie, and Binkley. And then 4 others is exactly what it says. I'm like, so you have the guy who's probably going to win California at the very, very bottom just because you're hoping that there's some sort of an upset.
I don't think I've even heard of David Stuckenberg.
I don't even know who that is.
He's on the GOP side.
Never even heard of him.
Yeah, when I look at it, the only ones it shows me is Asa Hutchinson, Nikki Haley, Donald Trump, Chris Christie, and Ryan Binkley, or as Ordy and I started calling him, the Binky. Which, I guess Asa has some Hutch Mintum in California because they have him all the way at the top of the list right now.
Or they're listing it by first name.
Could be. See, here I am trying to slam California, and you go all logical on me. See how you are. No, that's not true either, though. Because it's not, well, it maybe why he's the top, but it's not alphabetical order, because if not, it would have been Asa, Christie, Donald, and then, well, yeah, because Christie would have been, actually, if it was alphabetical, even if they were using last names, Christie would have been at the top, but using first names, it would have been Asa, Chris, Donald, Nikki, and then Ryan Binkley. So
Maybe they're ranking them by weight.
I don't know, because for me, Christie was next to Ramaswamy. So, no.
I don't know. If they're ranking them by weight, Christie shouldn't be the next to the bottom. I'm just saying. Unless it's pyramid style, then it kind of makes sense. But then I'm pretty sure Christie would be crushing Binkley. So, anyway. I need a rim shot for when I make terrible jokes like that.
I was just happy that I got to write about Michael Moore for the first time in years. And I said, yeah, Michael weighed in on a topic.
I know. You remember that. That was pretty epic, I gotta say.
That guy. I'd literally forgotten about it. I actually realized today, too, I've gone about a little over 2 weeks now with no Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift information coming across my transom.
Oh, I think people are taking a break from that because she's back to touring. The Super Bowl's over. So this was all about the whole numerology surrounding the Super Bowl. Okay, that's it.
I just saw a news item about his brother retiring, and I was like, well, we pretty much knew. I was like, wait a second. I haven't heard Travis come up in damn days. That's been very nice.
It has been, hasn't it?
Hey,
the
Aggie,
silence is so...
What was the name of the guy in Texas you wanted to win as far as the house race?
Gooden.
Not him then.
He's uncontested. Lance Gooden. But the one I wanted to lose was Crenshaw. I think his district is 13. I'm not sure. Out of Houston. He had a primary challenger. His name's Ellis. And
it can't be 13 because Ronnie Jackson was in 13, and that's uncontested.
Okay, so that's somebody else.
Kind of amazing how far Crenshaw has fallen, isn't it?
The disappointment is still bitterly lodged in my sternum.
I mean, he was basically golden for years. It was unassailable. He was like, this guy's sharp. He's funny. Military vet, unassailable. You can't bitch about him. It's just like now people are just like, ooh, oh, you're still around?
Well, like I was telling Rick, I don't understand. I know people in his district who were very disappointed with the way Crenshaw was representing them in the House, and they said, if this keeps up, we might just have to vote for the Democrat. If we're going to have a Democrat, it might as well be one we know. And we were kind of hoping that Ellis could pull it off to where he would unseat, in Crenshaw in the primary, but apparently not. Which is too bad. Very too bad.
Just kind of funny how Chip Roy has basically supplanted him in that role where...
Oh, I remember when Chip Roy was in a runoff, and people around here were batshit insane. They did not want Chip Roy because he was not establishment. This was a guy that came out of nowhere. They didn't understand him. They could not read him. And
Crenshaw's District 2, by the way.
But he managed to win the primary, and he managed to win the race, and now everybody's like, you better not leave us.
I mean, Crenshaw was he was sensible. It's like, yeah, it's okay. This is common sense. This is what we need. Chip Roy, I love because he's a no shit guy. That's what I love seeing. Him and Cruz are on that same level where they're willing to call out bullshit.
And he does. And, and I have to give him props when he decided the first time around, not to go after Mayorkas, because what was happening was not in the books. It would have established precedent, and that was dangerous. And he said, we need a law. We need to follow the law, because that way, when it happens with the other side, they can come after us if we set up precedent. We can't do that. We cannot give them, that. So I completely understood why he did it. Everybody went after him. He did not back down. He said, "I'm sorry you feel that way," and walked off.
It's kind of like he pretty much set the table by saying, "Look, we want to get rid of the guy, but to do it in the right fashion."
Exactly, and that's what he was saying. We need to go by the letter of the law, otherwise it's going to bite us in the ass. And he was right.
All right. Yep. Vermont is now up to, according to AP, 50.2% of the vote counted. Donald Trump is now sitting at 48.5. Nikki Haley's at a flat 47. So Donald Trump's lead keeps increasing. So I would not be surprised if they call that one soon.
Nikki is probably calling Vermont saying, "Don't you dare call it. You got to count it all. Don't you dare
count every last vote before you call anything, you bastards." But that was, again, kind of the telling thing for me is, starting to dig around and looking in to see what events she had planned after today, and she has none. None.
Interesting.
Well, we got to go to the office and rip open the envelopes quick before we make a call.
So, I mean, they were pretty, the talking heads on CNN were fairly convinced that she was going to pick up at least one or two of the New England corridor states, and it doesn't really look like it's going to happen, at least not tonight. I mean, Maine was called really early.
Mike said that she might actually contest Vermont.
I think I don't know enough about their rules, but I think if it's within a couple of percentage points, I think she actually can. It looks like Massachusetts has also already been called for Trump as of 8/28, so that just happened. With 11.2% of the votes counted, Trump is sitting at 60%, Haley's sitting at 37%. Other candidates have gotten a total of 3. No preference, of course, got 1%. Chris Christie has a whopping 0.9%, so way to come in off the Richter scale. DeSantis has 0.7, and 3 others have got a combined total of 0.5. So it looks like her only holdout's going to be Vermont, unless, and I don't know enough about their rules, but I think if they're within a couple of percentage points, I think they can contest it, I think. And every time I try to look up Vermont's rules, Google says no, so whatever.
Google says no. That's something that I found very, very interesting. Because in this house, my husband has an Apple phone. And I have a Samsung. And he was getting all of the alerts for voting for, the Republican primary. I wasn't getting any of them. It wasn't until I found my spam message folder that I found them all. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not saying that it was hinky, but it looks hinky.
Do you guys want Skynet? This is how we get Skynet.
Yeah, it was pretty hinky. I was like, why are you getting them and I'm not? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I found them.
I don't
know
how
how
you could be
spam.
critical of Google. They're unassailable.
I know, right? I mean, they're
Nothing questionable about that company's operations.
Well, it looks like as of just now, Minnesota has been called for Donald Trump.
Minnesota.
That was quick because I didn't even see results for Minnesota about 10 minutes ago.
They actually don't have much on the map yet, so I'm kind of surprised they called it. But with 4% of the votes counted, Donald Trump is the projected winner with 74.9%. So I'm pretty sure it looks like they've probably decided based on county breakdown that, because Donald Trump completely ran away with Minneapolis. So, yeah, that's why they're calling it.
Well, yeah, okay, we like that orange guy there who's going to go and run for that there office, and we're going to pull that old lever and toggle for the guy. That's what we're going to do, sure.
Yeah, so Anoka County.
Don't you know? Don't you know?
Anoka County, which has 99% of their votes counted, which is where Minneapolis is at, which is one of the most populated areas in that state, is staunchly in Trump country with 72.4% of the votes. So I'm pretty sure that's why they called it. The next biggest one that I see is Rice County, which I think is still fairly populous, but I don't know enough about that area. And they have 80% of the votes counted. Donald Trump against 72.7%. Nikki Haley 25.3%. So for everybody that's like it's a runaway, it's not really a runaway. I mean, you're still talking about a quarter of the people in the primary that don't seem to want the orange man bad guy, but looks like they're going to get him anyway. Because I don't see a path forward for her from here. What's weird for me is AP is calling state after state after state, but they haven't updated any of the delegate counts yet. I have to go to MSNBC and other places to see what the running delegate count is, which is kind of weird to me.
Is AP being run by Google?
Probably.
I mean, maybe that's
Wouldn't
the
surprise
issue.
me. Oh, looks like Arkansas.
AP is such a hot mess.
Looks like Arkansas just got called, and of course Trump country, not really surprised. They're right next to us, and we got called really early, so I was kind of expecting them to get called around the same time. But they
I think Arkansas was running about 85% for him.
That was weird, though, because that one wasn't really showing up on my map until just now. Ooh, Mad Cow looks like she's yelling.
Is she now?
I mean, kind of, when she's looking really animated. So.
Then he likes his chances running against another
Maybe not
another
yelling. She looked kind of
Democrat.
animated, though.
But I will say the other thing that's going on in California.
Anyway, that's about all of her voice I can stand. So she's not yelling, so I don't want to listen anymore.
That one is spinning out of control. She has been really delivering the goods lately.
Whoa. As of 8:34, so just now, Colorado has been called for Donald Trump with 63.4% going to him, 33.3% Nikki Haley. That's 71.2% of the vote counted, so there really isn't any way for her to recover at this point, which is why they called it. Wow. Oh wait, never mind. That was from her the other day. I was like, damn, Nikki Haley's not even in Nevada, but I forgot they did that one already.
Yeah, this has been quite the opposite of Super Tuesday.
It's been kind of the expected Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah. Pedestrian
Predictable
expected.
Tuesday. Yeah. Predictable Tuesday.
Uh-oh. Nikki Haley's almost back within a percentage point in Vermont. 48.4 to 47.2, so she's only 1.2 percentage points outside. There's literally like 400 votes between them right now.
Tonight has held less drama than a Sweet Valley High novel.
Oh, like I said, my biggest thing is I want to kind of see how California shakes out, because I'm hoping the MLB dude cleans everybody's clocks. That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Who's the MLB dude?
I can't remember his name, but he's running for the Senate seat. I'll have to look him up. Steve Garvey.
Oh, that's right.
And he's up against Schmidt? Schiff.
Yeah, Schiff.
Adam Schiff.
Schiff for brains.
Schiff for brains.
I think Rex beat me to it by like 30 seconds. Yeah. I was already typing. I didn't have the chat open. Y'all are cranky tonight. Go away. Maybe I'm the cranky one. I'm hangry. I didn't even get to eat before I started doing all this stuff. I'm going to have a late dinner again. I've been trying not to do the late dinner stuff lately, but it's not been the season for that.
Has Steve Garvey held any offices before?
Newbie.
That's why.
Where the hell did he come from? I mean, I've seen his name pop up from time to time, and I just assumed.
I don't know,
he was
but I
doing
miss his
something on the state
commercials.
Oh, speaking of which, I have to say this on the air tonight. Thank you for the painted rock. That thing was cool.
Oh, I am trying to spread happiness and cheer to everybody, and it's going to take me a while to get it to everybody. Brad, you don't count.
Wow.
No, Brad has like several of my rocks already, but he also got a tiki glass just a few days ago.
I wasn't complaining. I do find it funny, though, that you're spreading peace and joy by throwing rocks at people.
Yes.
I just find it funny that you've basically supplied Brad with his own box of rocks.
Oh, and it was tragic because I had mailed. How many rocks did I send? That it was like 4, right? One for every member.
I don't know. I didn't get them.
That's right. You didn't get them. The box came open, and it was an empty
got the box.
So I had to redo them all over again. But that was the one where I sent you the Tiki Life one. It had all the little tiki things on it.
That one I love.
I love that. That was a great rock.
It's still on my bar, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's where it goes. Tiki Life.
So there's so far one little solitary yellow circle, and it's the swamp. Why am I not surprised? I thought it was funny that Trump was already calling her the swamp queen before she won D.C. I was like, that's kind of interesting.
Quite. And fitting.
Looks like they're already doing person on the streets interviews.
I always enjoyed those. When they interview the people that you always cross the street so you would avoid talking to them, they interview them.
Well, what are you going to do? Is BBC News covering our election? It kind of looks like BBC News is covering our election. That would be a little weird, though, wouldn't it? No, guess not. As a UK budget, it just they had the whole screen going and the graphs and everything. I'm like, they're not covering it. That would be weird if they were covering our election.
And I'm just paying attention to the closed content in New Jersey right now.
Wait, what's going on in New Jersey?
Panthers are up by a goal with less than a minute to play.
Oh.
I wanted some drama tonight, Rick. Come on.
I get it. I ain't saying nothing.
It's the only thing that's not a blowout.
Nikki Haley's still working Vermont like a crack horse, so who knows?
And it looks like the former Dallas Cowboy, Colin Allard, is going to win the Democrat choice for the Senate race to go up against Ted Cruz.
Well, that should be fun. All I have to say is at least it's not Beto again.
Well, I was just laughing at him about a week or so ago. Like my timeline is just getting hit with his ads for some reason. I don't know why. Don't live in Texas, guys. But he was touting some poll. Shock poll. I'm in a tie race with Cruz. Like, what? So I pull up 538. And I don't even know what the poll was, but it was like 44% each. All the other polls have Cruz leading by 6, 8 points, 10 points. I just sent him a note back, and I was like, hey, Alexa, what's the definition of an outlier?
I'm sitting here reminiscing of Steve Garvey back in the 70s. Y'all go on with your bad selves.
Really?
Oh, he was a dreamboat. He's still a very good-looking man. But I don't know if you remember, he did a commercial for a cologne. I want to say it was Aqua Velva. And I remember watching that, and my dad actually bought it. He had Aqua Velva for a time, I think because of Steve Harvey.
Here, Aggie, we'll leave you alone with your thoughts for a minute or so.
How you doing? I'm Major League Baseball All-Star Steve Garvey. Do you want to smell like a mechanic? I've got the answer for you.
Oh, stop. He was a great baseball player, everybody, you know. And he
giving you some mood music. I mean, come on, roll with it.
Aqua Velva, 60% of the time, it works every time.
Just so you know, according to YouTube, this is 9 minutes of groovy 70s porn music. So.
No, and remember the very first big screen TVs came out in 77, Sega Vision. Remember those? And he made a commercial for those.
I was 4. I don't remember.
I remember that. Oh, stop. I get that you were 4. I get that you're younger than I am, okay?
Hey, I don't get to say that often, so I like rubbing it in when I can. Normally, I'm the one that's like one of the oldest people in the room. So I like being able to
I've
say
seen
otherwise.
70s porn before. Nobody lasts 9 minutes.
Hey, don't be judging 70s porn. The wilderness had to be explored, bro.
Maybe the delivery, the pizza delivery is a 9-minute drive. Maybe that's it. Boy, have we deviated from the original.
We have lost the plot. The plot has been lost. Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the mock-up poster somebody did for Dune 2?
No, I did not.
The one with Cookie Monster?
No, it's got like all the characters on it, except they changed every single face to Joey Tribbiani, and it just says on the bottom, "How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?"
Yeah, the weirdest thing that I've seen that I don't really understand is somebody put out like one of those TikTok videos talking about the Dune movie popcorn collectors thing, and dude walks in and is like, "I want the Dune popcorn bucket." And the guy's like, "Oh no." He's like, "Extra butter, no popcorn." Dude's like, "What?"
Oh.
So then the dude just starts pouring butter into the bucket, and he's like, "More butter." I'm glad that I don't understand it, but I'm concerned that I wouldn't want to know if somebody could explain it because it was the weirdest thing.
So you haven't seen the Dune bucket, apparently.
No, I've seen it.
No,
it looks
but
like,
I haven't.
It's like it's like one of the worms.
It looks like the mouth of the worm where it's got all the rubber
Oh, that one
on
with
the
all
inside
the
of it, and you got to
yeah,
reach in, and so yeah, it basically resembles a sex toy.
Okay.
That was too much.
Who approved this?
It looks like the AMC fleshlight.
Oh God.
And Aggie hangs up in 3.
Oh God.
It's not me. This is Hollywood. I didn't make the damn thing.
Oh
This
Lord.
It was like spreading around a few months ago, and I think Ordy sent it to me, and he's like, "You got to get this for your collection." I was like, "I think I would be arrested
or divorced." What do you need this for? It's a popcorn bucket.
Excuse me, sir. You want to come with us? You have children in the home.
It's a popcorn bucket, I swear.
Look at the label.
I mean, but who approved it? I mean, that's amazing. Oh my God. Seriously.
Well, that explains the dude freaking out at the end, because at the very end of the video, the first dude walks off and then somebody else walks up. I want the Doom popcorn bucket, and he's like, no. So yeah, now it makes more sense. But yeah, first I guess I'm too innocent to have made that connection. Thanks for ruining it for me.
I think I've seen where on eBay and stuff they're going for like $80 or $90.
Dude, have you looked on eBay for those ugly ass shoes that Trump put out a couple weeks ago? Some of those things are going for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm like, what the hell?
I've seen them listed for like a $1,200.
I would love to have a Trump vodka bottle, but that's never going to happen unless I find one here in East Texas at somebody's estate sale, which could happen. I have found there was one estate sale that I went to that had, I think, almost every single Jim Beam bottle known to man, except for the Genie bottle. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate it.
There you go.
But I mean, it had all of them, and I did snag one because it was the commemorative for the Apollo 11 launch. So I have my little space beam.
So I only have one question. Since Brad sent you a Genie bottle, did you rub it the right way?
It's the guy that was just offended 2 minutes ago by a popcorn bucket.
We're supposed to be talking about the Super Tuesday primary election.
Trump won everything. The end.
The end.
There's your political analysis.
I swear to God, and Nikki Haley's going to stand there. Like, remember the movie In and Out? At the very end, he had been fired because it turned out that he was gay, and the school fired Kevin Kline's character. And he was up for Teacher of the Year, but it went to somebody else. And, the teacher said, that's fine, but I'm still Teacher of the Year. I won this. She's going to be standing doing the same thing. I won DC. I won it. That's fine. You can win everything else, but I won DC. I can honestly picture her saying something like this.
Well, I was talking to Jim Thompson about a cartoon idea for him to do where she's dressed up in a NASCAR fire suit, being interviewed and talking about how, yes, it was so good to win the race, and her car is next to her upside down with the wheels spinning while Trump is racing across getting the checkered flag. Yeah, it was a great race that we won. You dumb bitch. Your car's on fire. You didn't win anything. It must be nice to go through life oblivious.
That is true. They probably do enjoy that. It's the only way they can, function.
Walk around saying, I won 4th place.
Wait, what? Hang on. I can't read the damn Chiron because they were screaming about something far right.
A place they could
So I was
take
trying
back
to see what
before.
it was.
Let the Mark Robinson race prove to them that this is a winnable race. If I gave you a magic wand, if I gave you carte blanche to tell the National Democratic Party how to run to win North Carolina, what issues to
Far
run
right
ads
Lieutenant
on,
Governor wins
types of
North
events to do
Carolina
in the
GOP
state, what
governor
types of surrogates to
primary.
tap, what issues to
I don't know
engage
who
people
it
on.
is
They're
they're talking
talking
about.
about the
Apparently,
state.
they don't like
What
it.
would you
I mean,
Well, I know when I
sitting in
look
North
for
Carolina.
political advice on the GOP, the first person I run to is Rachel Maddow.
Oh yeah, but when there's no drama, it's more fun to watch these people because when they have meltdowns when polls close. So speaking of, we're 9 minutes and 34 seconds from the next polls closing. So let's see what else Trump's about to win.
I swear, MSNBC is just turned into a psych ward any longer.
I mean, nobody
know that
watches
they're
them or
left-wing
CNN anymore. So
no, but I mean, I understand that they're basically the Democrat version of Fox. They're supposed to be, but they are so far out any longer. They're losing their minds collectively there. It's amazing.
That reminds me, I kind of want to switch over to News Nation. They actually are more like old school Fox, so I actually kind of like watching them sometimes. But I forgot to go find them, so now I have to go find them again.
Yeah, they're relatively balanced, I'll say, so far.
The weirdest thing for me was watching the governor's brother actually LARP a centrist. I was kind of confused. I was like, so wait, is he pretending to be a centrist, or has this been him the whole time and he was putting on an act for CNN?
No, it's like, I mean, I like what you're doing, Chris, but you got a reputation, son. Just saying.
Well, I mean, it's like, granted, it's freaking Geraldo, but even since he's been hanging out over on News Nation, he's actually put out a couple things that I've actually agreed with, and I'm like, what the hell timeline am I in where I'm agreeing with Jerry Rivers? What timeline am I in that I'm agreeing with Jerry Rivers? I'm just saying.
The timelines are all fucked up.
I blame CERN.
I always blame CERN. And Jeff always comes along. You can't blame CERN. Yes, I can.
I can blame anyone I choose, sir.
You're not my supervisor.
You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of... Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, where did they go?
You need to calm down and have an almond hoy.
See.
Monhoy?
Video still slays me.
Do you know the...
It is all true, Brad. It is all true. My entire family back home in Puerto Rico pronounces candy bars the same way these people are pronouncing the candy bars. I was crying.
Do you know the only problem with the almond hoy? Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you find one.
I think my other favorite one was Tres Musketeers.
That's pretty good.
I said that to a couple of people in my family, and one of them wrote me back that it was racist. It's like, really? Did you see the guy shooting the video? He's Hispanic himself.
You should have just shot back. My radio wife is Latinx. Shut it. As Aggie threatens to kill me again in 3.
It's to the point now, if I get called racist, you don't even hear it. It's like when you're at the airport and you no longer hear the airplanes.
Pretty much. Oh. Yeah, weird. I know YouTube TV has News Nation, but I'm not finding them tonight. That's weird. I'm in the area where all the news channels are. Wait, is that them? No, that's Cheddar. I don't even know why that channel still exists. I don't know anybody that watches Cheddar fucking news.
I thought I heard they were on the verge of going under. I think they've had layoffs. Along with Vice and everybody else, for the most part. Yeah, the Cheddar thing I never understood.
I mean, I don't even understand the concept. Why the hell would you name a news channel after a food item? Somebody can probably explain it, but it's never made any sense to me.
What's the name of the channel?
It's called Cheddar, like the cheese, and it's Cheddar News.
It's a news channel
Okay.
that has no personalities, and they deliver the news in a boring fashion.
Oh, this is why I miss Naked News. It was the same format, except, the women got naked. They would disrobe as they were telling you the news, but they were telling you the news, and it was completely unbiased. I think I was the only female that actually looked forward to watching that.
I used to watch Naked News, and then my wife yelled at me.
Because I only had the sound off.
Brad was watching Naked News while playing 9 minutes of 70s porn music.
There you
go.
See, he even has the song remembered. Oh. Okay, well, I'm not finding News Nation, so I'm done looking.
All right, why is Trump speaking at Mar-a-Lago tonight? Florida didn't have a primary.
I don't know. Probably because he's already in general mode, and Biden's pretty much made it clear he's not debating anyway, so he's just going to stay home. If Biden can run his campaign from his basement, I can run mine from mine.
I'm still trying to figure out how he's getting sued in the state of New York for valuations on property.
Yeah.
Where the bank wasn't complaining and he paid back the loan.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out because the banks are all going, but this is how we do business. And now you're telling me that this is illegal? Well, I guess I won't be doing business here. And they do, I mean, they were saying, oh, no, nothing like that's going to happen. Well, then tell me why Kathy Hochul actually had to come out and tell everybody, no, don't worry. This is
a one-off.
This is a one-off. Basically admitting to politicizing, this for, to destroy a human being. And I'm like, you're not making the case.
Well, you're making a case, but you're not making the case that you think you are.
Not the one you think you're making.
But yeah, I mean, and I talked about this last week. There's like 2 or 3 big investors that have completely, like they were in the middle of about to be to the point of putting ink on paper for real estate deals in New York, and they're like, pencils down, we're done.
Yeah. You can't. Why would you take even a chance in that place?
I mean, I don't understand how you have a prosecution taking place when there's not a victim.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that one too.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that kind of like the whole point of, prosecution is there has to be some form of victim? I mean, that's like them saying that he had to put the money into a trust before he could even file for the appeal, which is bullshit because that's not how it works. Because if he pays the fine, he doesn't even have the grounds to appeal anymore. I mean, Gene was like, he doesn't have, and Gene's an attorney in New York. He's like, that's not how any of this shit works. If he pays the fine, it's over. What are you guys trying to do?
Somebody the other day, too, was saying it's unfair that Trump is granted all these appeals. It's like, do you realize how many lawsuits he's facing? That's cool. I know you don't understand legal systems, but the law of averages means he's going to have more appeals because he's got more court cases, you dumb shit.
I mean, dude, and look, again, stop making me defend Lord Spraytan, okay? But dude is facing, like, multiple charges in multiple jurisdictions all at the same time because they were hoping to have him spread so thin that Super Tuesday wouldn't look like Super Tuesday looks right now. And it didn't work. So, can we stop now?
I'm just waiting to find one Democrat prosecutor who's not inept.
Yeah, good luck.
Letitia James is a screw-off.
Dude.
Alvin Bragg has already been proven to be inept. Don't even get me started on Georgia.
I saw a Georgia paper calling it Fannygate now, so that's interesting.
Of course. I mean, even Jack Smith is looking kind of bumbling at this point.
I mean, if they would have just left him alone, we probably would have had DeSantis right now. These people are why we can't have nice things. And these people are why we're probably looking at 4 more years of Lord Spraytan. And this is the thing that I keep telling to everybody that's never Trump. If you really want the guy to just go away, push him over the finish line one more time. Because then he basically has to go away. I know you hate him.
Back to a year ago, they hated DeSantis like poison because they were scared to death of him. And we could beat Trump. And there's not a single, outside of like Democrat enclaves like Austin in California. That's the only place that Biden is polling well.
Yeah. Biden can't poll without pills anyway. So. Oh, wait. Wrong polling. My bad.
It's just, they've created this. And they're bitching about what they've created. And it's like,
I mean,
this is why I love my job, because they make it so damn easy.
I mean, I'm just saying, if they pull the same kind of shenanigans that we now know they pulled in 2020, there's going to be some, I mean, dude. I mean, think about this. It took us almost 8 years to figure out that the CIA and the FBI colluded to try to basically kill Trump's campaign in 2016. It took us almost 8 years to figure that out. So now I have people, well, the court said that the elections weren't stolen. Have you seen what the courts are doing to Trump? Do you trust the courts anymore? Because I don't. I mean, you just had Keith Olbermann who, Donald Trump was proven through the courts that the election wasn't stolen, to, oh my God, we need to disband the Supreme Court now because they're illiterate and don't know what they're doing. Which one is it? Because at least I'm consistent. I don't trust any of them, but one minute you're singing their praises and the next you're saying we need to nuke them. Pick one.
That's one of the things I've enjoyed the last few days is all the basement-dwelling legal scholars that have come out of the woodwork, and no more than people on the Supreme Court.
Oh, I mean, Aggie and I talked about this a little bit before you got on, but it may have even been before Aggie got on. I don't remember. But the funniest thing for me after yesterday was watching all the talking heads that already had their remarks prepared because they were expecting a 5-4 split, and it was 9-0, and they were still treating it like it was a 5-4 split. I'm like, you guys,
oh yeah,
did you pay attention?
It's classic.
Did you? I can't believe it was such a partisan decision. It was 9-0.
No,
I mean, Andrew Weissman came out and tried that sell job. He's like, if you actually analyze what they said, this one was technically against her. This one was... Andrew, 9-0. It still holds.
But the most revealing part of the whole situation was how the liberals attacked only Clarence Thomas. And I'm like, y'all forgetting about the 3 liberal judges there that voted with this decision? I mean, are you just going to let that slide? But because they're all, in a protected class, they couldn't touch her. But Thomas, they could, because he's not protected because he's conservative. Totally different. He's a sellout, according to these.
He's an Uncle Tom, remember? Although apparently they don't actually know what Uncle Tom means. Speaking of not knowing what things mean, you know the funniest thing was Olbermann had such a drastic meltdown yesterday that a parody was able to pick up that meltdown and run with it enough that people were talking about it on talk radio today as if it was actually Olbermann. Like, you guys realize that was a parody, right? You guys know that was a parody, right?
It was hilarious.
I mean, because I couldn't do my own show, so I'm like flipping through on iHeart, listening to all these different talk radio people that are like, and did you see Keith Olbermann go after Ketanji Brown Jackson and this? And I'm like, that was a parody, bro.
Yeah, but the problem is, if you went and read his actual comments, there was zero difference.
Oh, I know. They were talking about writing it up on Twitchy last night, and they're like, but I'm afraid that we'd have to do it with a screen capture. And I'm like, I had a migraine, or I would have done it. And I was like, well, you could still have fun with it because you could just point out that everybody got snowed by a parody, kind of like when I got snowed by the Elon Musk parody account. Back when the blue check was the Wild Wild West again, and pretty much everybody could get one.
Oh, I was caught by Babylon B at its inception. Yeah. That was my first. That was my first, and I think Reductress got me once too. So after that, you have to pay attention and look at the handle and make sure that the account says parody on it somewhere. That kind of thing.
Well, I remember.
I know. It's like Twitter is so much work now. You got to take like 4 seconds to look at stuff.
Well, the funny thing is, like, way back, and this was back when I first started doing America Off the Rails. I mean, we're talking 15, 16 years ago. The Onion got me because I'm going through YouTube, and there's, like, this parody video of, like, some senator in the well talking about World War III and shit. It literally, the Onion, the ONN, which was for Onion News Network, it looked almost exactly like CNN. So I'm, like, talking about this live on the air, and at that time, this is back when it was K98 Talk, and the dude that I was partnering with is like, he's calling me, texting me. He's like, dude, you're talking about a parody right now. I was like, the fuck I am? It says CNN. He's like, no, that's an O. I was like, fuck.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it happened to me on radio, it's happened to me on Twitchy. So I mean, it happens, but it's just it's so much funnier when you're in on the joke and you're watching everybody else like fall for it. And you're like, ha! Then you're like, wait, that's happened to me too, so I shouldn't laugh too hard. Damn it!
I would always, I shouldn't say always, but it would happen frequently with me with the Bulwark account I had. That's fallen by the wayside because so has the Bulwark.
Well, you know.
But I would, every so often, I would put something out, and then it would just it would light up the hardcore right. Can you believe these dumb sons of bitches over there? And, ooh, damn. Let me just back away and let them have their fun and laugh my ass off at the time.
Well, you know, everybody knew the SS Bulwark would hit an iceberg eventually, so it didn't. It took longer than I expected, but
they haven't failed. But it's just because they're still chugging along, but they don't really have anything close to the influence they used to because they pushed Biden onto us. Thank you, dipshits.
Yeah.
He's yours. You own this.
And you own everything that's come out of it because you swore he was going to be better than the last guy, and he wasn't. And that's the part that, and again, I get it. Hindsight is 20/20, but looking at, and this is taking into account all the COVID shit and all the things that I really feel like Trump still needs to be held accountable for. But if you go back and you look at 2019 versus today, it's like the difference between actual America and Venezuela is pretty much where we are.
Sadly.
We are so close to being Venezuela North that it's not even funny anymore. And the worst thing is Venezuela is actually starting to turn the corner a little bit. We're still not.
Well, look what it's taken for them to wake up, so maybe we are about to.
Well, I mean, if this not surprising, not so Super Tuesday isn't any indication, it looks that way. Dude, they still haven't called Vermont. 65.3% of the vote is in, and Trump is now up by almost 2 percentage points, and they still haven't called it.
Wow.
Nikki Haley's still working that crack pipe, if you know what I mean.
They're desperate for anything approaching drama or intrigue.
Well, I mean, in order for the and I don't necessarily even want to just say the never Trump crowd, because I know some people, and I understand the reasons why they don't want to vote for Trump, and it's people that have been caught up in all the vaccine BS. So, but the people that are just diametrically opposed to Trump, they need something besides DC to be able to hang on to, and right now it doesn't look like they're going to get that. I mean, Utah, I don't know when their polls close, but it's got to be soon, I would think, if it hasn't yet. But
when Ordy signed in, they had 90 minutes left over there in California, so I'd imagine they might be closing.
I was going to say, California should have closed right about now-ish.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing we'll probably start getting some reports coming in pretty quick. But for some reason, Utah is where Haley's been spending a lot of money, but there is a staunch never Trump contingent in Utah because of Romney. But Romney's taking the wind out of their sails so bad. I don't know if it's going to matter. Because talk about how far someone has fallen. You've gone from being a presidential contender to being worse than John McCain in 16 years?
Mm-hmm.
He's turned into a squish.
Man, Mad Cow looks like she wants to cry right now. Kind of looks like the same facial expression the Colorado lady had when the decision came down yesterday. So, the Haley spanking continues. As of right now, according to MSNBC's count, Trump is up 715 delegates to Haley's 46. To me, the biggest surprise of the night isn't that Trump is winning, because I kind of expected that. It's the amount of undecideds and undeclared that are pulling up on the Democrat side. Biden has got to figure out how to close that gap, or every bit of leeway he had in 2020 is going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's where the Michigan numbers were hilarious in one poll. He came in like 5th place, and one of the selections ahead of him was like anybody else.
It's kind of like Haley in Nevada when she lost to none of the above, pretty much.
Yeah. Like the second most popular was anybody but Biden.
So, this is how badly this is going, right? So, and granted, it's not much, but Biden on the Democratic side has 994 delegates. Uncommitted has actually secured 2.
What? Really?
Yes.
What happens in that case?
Democrats have super delegates, so none of this really matters.
The results, and it'll be 900 votes for Joe Biden, Patrick Mahomes 2.
So in Massachusetts, 9%. In Massachusetts, 9% voted no preference, totaling 20,593 votes in Massachusetts. That's almost as bad as Michigan, because in Michigan, when they started pushing, I think it was Michigan, when they started pushing to do the undeclared thing, they were expecting 10,000 and over 100,000 people voted undeclared. They were like, wow. What just happened? 86% of the vote in Vermont, according to MSDNC, and they are still calling it too close to call. But it looks like, at least according to MSDNC, Haley's back on top, 49.1%. Well, I guess that was for a county, though, so never mind. So there's at least one county that she was winning in. I didn't see him playing with a map over there.
Last I saw, Trump was up by 3.
I love it.
No, they're showing Vermont statewide 86% in, still too close to call, but they're still showing Haley on top. But then again, it's MSDNC, so I think they're just trying to add to the...
I call them PMSNBC.
I usually do too, but, Oh, yeah, according to AP, with 91% of the vote in, she's flipped it again.
Wow. She must be so excited.
I guess Trump
DC and Vermont.
I guess Trump got tired and let her back on top.
Oh, God.
Her platform of taking down tariffs on syrup has really paid off.
Guess so.
Wow, that was a big flip. Because Trump was like up by 1.2, and then all of a sudden they like had all these votes pour in, and now she's at 49.5 and he's at 46.2. So it looks like she. Damn it, Jeff!
All those precincts in Montpelier.
Damn it, Jeff!
Whatever the hell it is, they're all rolling in now.
Montpelier.
Whatever.
What? You don't know the name?
According to Andy,
I just can't pronounce it.
According to Andy Griffith, it was Montpelier. Just saying.
Montpelier. Got it.
But
it's my second. You know what? I may be mispronouncing it. I don't know.
I just always assume that Mayberry must be somewhere in Vermont since they had Montpelier, because that was like the next town over. But maybe it was. Who knows?
I thought it was in South Carolina, but I have no idea.
I don't know. I mean, I have figured out that, as I've moved around a lot, there are lots of states with similar town names, some of which even pronounced differently. Like, I had somebody that moved here from Florida who was arguing with me about how to pronounce Miami in Oklahoma. And I'm like, I know it's spelled Miami, but that's not how it's pronounced here. It's pronounced Miami. That's stupid. Like, I'm not an Indian. I didn't make the rules.
That's not the way we say it here.
Would you like to speak to the manager?
I just remember when I was growing up and I first was learning about this city, and my dad would say, "Yep, I'm going to go to Miami." And then I would tell people, "Yep, he's going to my dad's Amy." Mom would call me over, Brad. What? He's going to Dad's Amy, right? No. Not his Emmy.
Okay, now that's weird, because just a second ago I could have swore it said like 90-something% of the votes were counted in Vermont. Now it's showing 76, but she's still up by over 3 percentage points.
Sounds like Karnacki's getting into the White Claw. He just cracks me up how just over exuberant he is. And it's like, dude, there's statistics. Nobody's this excited about him. The guys at MLB.com aren't this excited, and they just cream over statistics. You're just, and if this here, I mean, his conspiracy theories in the 2016 election were cracking me up. Like, he was trying every which way to come up with a way for Hillary to win. We've got these 3 counties here. If we get 85% of the vote for her there, cross it over to this state, we can swing 2 delegates over. That'll narrow it down. It's like, Steve. That was one of my greatest joys, though, in watching an election ever, was I sat on the floor that night and I was voting hardcore for Sam Adams and Jack Daniels. Literally had them on either side of me so I could watch the disaster of Hillary winning. And when it started to turn just a little bit, I was like, wait a damn second. Went right from CNN over to MSNBC. And watching the returns come in gradually and their faces collectively dropping and the disbelief coming over them, it was so magnificent to watch.
I'm still rolling about uncommitted securing 2 delegates in the DNC primary.
Think if you're those delegates, you could do anything.
Hey, I'm part of that undeclared. I can do what I want.
You can go around and sell your vote to any business that wants to get their name on the board during the conference.
There's an idea. That would be pretty cool. I wonder how much.
Steve's Hot Tub Emporium gets 2 votes.
I wonder how much I'd have to pay to do that. KLR Radio making an appearance there would be kind of fun.
See?
Looks like Trump's speaking.
Yay.
Much higher than Joe Biden's.
No, not doing it. At least they don't make him look incredibly orange anymore. I don't know what that was 4 years ago. 8 years ago. No, was it 4, 8? Shit, I don't remember. God, it's all blurring together. Oh, next poll's close in 41 minutes. So, woohoo!
So you're really going to stay on the line for Alaska?
I don't know if we really need to. Like I said, at this point, I'm kind of hanging out until things start coming in for California, and then I think after that, I might be done.
Yeah, I might have to check out soon because all my predictions have gone awry. I had no idea that this kind of walkover would take place tonight.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Like, threw me for a loop.
I predicted a Ramaswamy comeback, and it's just not happening.
I'm not going to lie. I was secretly hoping that DeSantis would be like the undercard vote or something and take the night, and everybody be like, what the hell just happened? Be like, Trump sucks. That's what the hell just happened.
Oh, yeah. Time for me to turn in.
I don't think I'm too far behind you guys, so.
Well, I guess we can wind it up then.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
I was going to say, we're going on almost, well, for me, it's almost 4 hours. I think we're good. All right, so Brad, because it'll take you forever and it takes me forever, where can folks find you, sir?
On this network. I'm going to be here Thursday night with Wardy Packard. He and I are going to go through the important...
Actually, you're not. State of the Union, sir.
Oh.
Really now? Okay, night off. Never mind. We get to watch the doddering old fool play shuffleboard in the rotunda.
Yeah, there's that.
Well, then, apart from that, the following Thursday, I'll be here with Paul Young from ScreenRant.com as we go through bad movie time over at Disasters in the Making. And then Aggie and myself are going to conjoin. This is our normal night, but, news and important national information took over. But usually,
it's still half turned into you guys' show. You start talking about food and porn. So
yeah, this is true. We managed to get into our topics nonetheless. But also, you can read my commentary. I cover the media on a regular basis over at townhall.com with my daily column there, riffed from the headlines. Also on the front page of Red State on the regular, where I've got my twice weekly podcast called Liable Sources. New episode drops tomorrow, where I drop new assholes on the media on the regular, ripping deeper into them. And then if you need more of me than that, let's face it, you do. You head over to Jitter. I am at Martini Shark. What about yourself, Aggie? Where can people find your magnificence elsewhere?
Well, you can find me at Aggie Weekend and at Aggie the Barkeep. Those are over on X. And you can find me Tuesday nights doing the Cocktail Lounge with you, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Friday nights doing He Said, She Said as of late with Rick. And once a month, Rick, Orty, Andrew, and we get together to Toxic Masculinity last Wednesday of every month at 8 p.m. And Jeff and I have teamed up this coming Monday as our new episode for Spirited Books. So tune in for that. Also at Aggie Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Nice. All right. Well, this is going to be a weird week for me because I did not do a show Monday because I had a migraine. Did not do a show afternoon-wise today because of technical issues around the house. And then planning on doing the show tomorrow. But then my son has a dentist appointment on Thursday right in the middle of showtime. So it'll be Wednesday and Friday this week doing the Rick Robinson Show, KLR Radio Afternoons. And then Wednesday night, normal programming as far as I know for now. So tomorrow night will be the Whatever Show, and then the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show, and then the Ladies of the Red Wine, and then Orty and I will be your nightcap. I'm live on 2 and produce the other 2, so it's another 4 hours for me. And then Thursday we'll do State of the Union, so both the Culture Shift and Jen and Rick will be preempted because we're going to make fun of the guy who could barely put 2 sentences together that's supposed to be able to talk for 90 minutes. We'll see how that goes. And then Friday background with Aggie, and then off for Juxtaposition on Saturday, but then background doing America Off the Rails on Sunday night because Lord knows I don't work enough. And then when I'm not doing all of that, you can find me usually on weekdays, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern, doing the Rick Robinson Show, and also the executive producer of the Loftus Party Podcast, contributor at theloftusparty.com, contributor at misfitspolitics.com, and contributor at twitchy.com, and might actually have a couple of irons in the fire elsewhere, just waiting to hear back one way or the other, because my name's Rick, and I'm a workaholic. It's been forever since my last meeting. Alright, we're going away, because Trump ran away with it. I think Nikki Haley might get Vermont, she might get Utah, and probably not much of anything else. So she'll have some bragging rights for the 5 people that still pay attention to her when this is all over, but that's about it. We're going away now, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. I promise elections will be over eventually and we'll get back to normal programming.
Maybe.
Go buy your Nikki Haley beer koozie now while they're still available.
Oh, you still can.
My question is, what happens to her picture when the koozie gets cold? That's my question.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This has been Decision Desk 2024, covered in partnership between KLRNradio.com and thedigitalbeacon.com, and powered through Poli-Sci 11 DMK, the show that we use to make fun of all things political, because it's primary time. Why the hell not? Bye, everybody!